Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. Marvel. Signing in Kai Daddy at the beginning. Chapter 21. Wong Kai cut off half of Hulk's shoulder with a knife. Bring at least 5 or 6 kilograms of green leather with you. Hulk was rolling on the ground in pain. But the Hulk is Marvel's #1 tank after all. Possessing extremely powerful self-healing power and regeneration ability. Even if the defense is broken and cannot be killed with one hit, the Hulk still cannot be affected. Sure enough, it only lasted 3 or 4 seconds. Hulk's shaved shoulders grew back at a speed visible to the naked eye. Just looking at Wong Kai, there was nothing but anger in his eyes. More of a fear. No one could ever hurt him like this. Even if it is hit head-on by an armor-piercing round from a main battle tank. It's just a little bit of skin. But Wong Kai almost took off his arm. Although his intelligence was low after his transformation. But the strong biological instinct made Hulk retreat quickly. He didn't yell and ran away without looking back. Kick your feet hard and jump to the roof. Then he jumped away quickly. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. A powerful voice approached from a distance. It turned out that General Ross and the remaining soldiers surrounded him. Looking at Hulk's anatomy and the abomination split in half. There is also a gully that is 40 meters long. And the building that seemed ready to collapse at any moment. General Pilley couldn't help but swallow his saliva. He didn't expect that the super soldier he had been pursuing would be so vulnerable. If that knife fell from the sky and hit Hulk, Hulk would probably be in trouble. Hero, you just saved the city. Can you tell us who you are? General Ross asked eagerly. Wong Kai took a deep look at the initiator of all this. Didn't pay attention to him at all. Activate the secret skill, stealth on the spot and leave invisibly. When General Ross saw Wong Kai suddenly disappear, he got angry and immediately came up. No one dares to ignore themselves like this. After cursing a few words in the air, he ordered the soldiers to recover the abomination's corpse and Hulk's body tissue, which were extremely important experimental materials. But before they could take action, Nick Fury brought Coulson and a large group of agents over and surrounded General Ross. No nonsense. General Ross was extremely angry as soon as the bald director opened his mouth. General, we are the Homeland Strategic Defense Attack and Logistics Support Bureau. We are taking over this place now. Please leave. HMPH, do you think you are the president? General Ross was so angry that he laughed. I have never seen such a shameless person come out to lick Nick Fury's face, point at Nick Fury's face and laugh angrily. Not only are you ugly, you also want to be beautiful. This is an item belonging to the military. Load it up for me. General Ross did not give any face to the department that he had never heard of. But his ridicule did not make the one-eyed director angry. The latter just said quietly, "Our people killed Abomination, why did you take him away?" Really, I also said that man is my son-in-law. Call him out again. General Ross was sarcastic, and neither of them would give in. In the end, they adopted the most primitive method. Rob. After all, it's exactly half the number per person. As for Hulk's body tissue, it is the focus of competition. As a result, all this was photographed by onlookers and posted on the internet. The American people vividly call this, dog eat dog. He thought that these men in black and the soldiers didn't care about their lives at all, but went to fight for the dead bodies, just like wild dogs. Before daybreak, the news about the blue man suddenly appearing and slashing to death, causing countless casualties and damaging many buildings, and slashing the tall and muscular Hulk to death, had already spread throughout the world. Tony's position as the #1 topic has not yet been secured. He was squeezed down again. When people were shocked by Wong Kai's terrifying strength. The famous saying, "Times have changed," is being widely used on the internet. Discussing how powerful Wong Kai's sword is. Can it kill Iron Man or Metal Storm? Tony was shot for no apparent reason. Jarvis could only ask Jarvis to delete all related posts with a sad face. There was a heated debate on the internet for a while. The protagonist of the incident, Wong Kai, was conducting daily lottery draws at his home. Complete the sign-in mission and kill the villain Abomination. Earn 600 check-in points. Together with the previous 700 points, a total of 1,300 check-in points were obtained. System, I want to draw a lottery, 3 draws in a row. Ding, it consumes 300 check-in points and the lottery is in progress. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining consumables, small medicine bottles 3. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining a special item, passionate roses 10. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining a special item and skill enhancement point 1. Seeing the skill enhancement points that I miss day and night. Wang Kai breathed a long sigh of relief. Added directly to the immortal demon body. Raised it to level 8. Ding, congratulations to the host for upgrading the skill immortal demonic body, which increases the original attributes by 160%. The current level is 8. There is no duration limit after being turned on. The current skill integrate. One ride can equal 1,000. System, integrate overlord / Ding, the skill integrate has been completed. Congratulations to the host for integrating the skill overlord / into the immortal demon body. One horizontally and one vertically. Dad Kai's cross-cut. Wang Kai smiled with satisfaction. This is considered a self-created skill of his, right? A blue aura appeared on his body, and he was immediately transported to the Grand Canyon to experiment with the horizontal slashing power of the integrated skill. At this time, the SHIELD headquarters. Coulson was running to Nick Fury's office with an anxious look on his face. He finally investigated clues about Wang Kai's sister Luna. It's just that the number of people involved and the identities of each powerful person made him a little at a loss. Sir, you'd better take a look at this. Coulson walked in without even having time to knock on the door. With a worried look on his face, Nick Fury knew that something big had happened. After reading all the information with a solemn expression, Nick Fury showed rare anger. He threw the information in his hand directly on the floor. The 3 giant families that control Wall Street all have important personnel on the list. In addition, there are several high-ranking officials and dignitaries. And the person with the highest superficial status in the United States. Don't he know about the zipper door incident? Nick Fury was almost furious. The incident really turned out according to the worst-case scenario he imagined. Once Wang Kai knows all the lists and the information, no one can escape. There will be a big earthquake in the United States. When the time comes, there will be a battle between S.H.I.E.L.D. and him. No matter what the result is, this is not something Nick Fury can accept. Sir, what do you think we should do? Coulson had a wry smile on his face. If he wanted to take sides, he would definitely side with S.H.I.E.L.D. But once a fight breaks out, with Wang Kai's elusive invisibility, the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters and himself may be bombed that day. Nick Fury had a straight face and wanted to say that he didn't know either. But after thinking about it, it seems that there is really no way to have the best of both worlds. The best solution currently seems to be, that is to eliminate Wang Kai preemptively. This way the impact can be minimized. To kill the person who might save the world in the future. And, can he kill the other party? Nick Fury is completely unsure. And once it is done, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s reputation will be completely ruined. No one will trust S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore. No one will join the Avengers again. This is almost an unsolvable problem. Don't tell Kai yet, keep it secret for as long as you can. Nick Fury said in a deep voice. Also, go dig up the girl's body. Maybe S.H.I.E.L.D. can give Kai an explanation. Coulson suddenly froze on the spot. Is this to destroy the corpse and eliminate all traces? But in an instant, another possibility came to mind. You want to clone a replacement? That's right, cloning plus implanting memory. If you are lucky enough, you can completely fake it. Nick Fury sighed in his heart. Since the problem has no solution, we have to create an answer that can be solved by ourselves. But unfortunately, sometimes no matter how well planned, there is nothing you can do if you are already in the trap. Before Coulson could take action, Wang Kai suddenly received a secret document. The content is exactly the same as what Coulson has in his hand. It was all leaked out intentionally by Hydra, Rothschild, Morgan, Rockefeller. Wang Kai looked at a name on the list. Just check it out on your computer. Then we know the huge energy represented by these surnames. Although the combined forces behind these people are enough to control most of the United States. The wealth is comparable to that of a second-rate country. But unfortunately, no amount of money can buy your own life. Teleport. Wang Kai's face was as cold as frost. Although there is endless anger. At this moment, all the flames are buried under the ice, hidden and restrained. Just waiting for it to explode. It's all earth-shaking. In Tony's coast villa. At this time, looking at the information given by Wang Kai, his expression was ugly. The motive for committing the crime, the process of committing the crime, and the final disposal of the body were clearly stated on it, just like a confession. The whole process is not complicated. The rich and powerful like underage beautiful girls. So there is demand from above. Someone will do it below. Jin Bin is the liaison between the top and the bottom. The New York gang is the enforcer. This time, they plan to kidnap 13 girls. One of the targets is Wang Kai's sister Luna. Then came the torture. Tortured to death. The body will be buried in the woods outside the family castle and disposed of. No one can find any clues, because anyone who dares to inquire will only get burned. Can you confirm the authenticity of this information? Wang Kai asked coldly. He wouldn't just go to the door and start killing people. The origin of this information is strange. He knew that not many people were looking for him, and the only ones who could obtain such detailed information were Osborn, Stark, and S.H.I.E.L.D. After using the elimination method, you can easily find out what Hydra did. These guys have no good intentions. Wang Kai didn't want to work for them. Jarvis is checking it. The authenticity will be determined in half an hour. Tony put the information aside. Looking at Wang Kai, I just feel like he is like an active volcano under the iceberg, which may erupt at any time. If this were true, would you kill them all? You know there's a president inside. That will ruin your life. Wang Kai turned back coldly, glanced at Tony, and then showed a frightening smile. Ruined my life. Hasn't it already been destroyed? Since I died and stood up again, nothing in the world can stop me. Tony was speechless for a moment. Don't tell others to be kind without having suffered others' suffering. If you don't feel the same way, what qualifications do you have to persuade others? Aren't you afraid of death? No matter how powerful you are, you can't defeat all kinds of missiles. Tony whispered. People are always born toward death. After the indifferent reply, the two of them stopped talking. Time flies. Half an hour passed quickly. Sir, after systematic and repeated comparison verification, the accuracy of the scanned data is as high as 99%. Jarvis's electronic sound sounded. Wang Kai picked up the information and turned around to leave. Not another word was said. After Tony was silent for a moment, he informed Coulson of the situation. Waterfake. Coulson was immediately confused. Was he going to collect the bodies of the powerful before he could take action? Do you have any good ideas? Coulson asked. It's very simple. If all the senior officials on the list are removed, the impact will not be that big. Tony's suggestion made Coulson's eyes light up. In this way, as long as they are arranged to encounter a plane crash, there will be no splash in society. Good idea. I'll go discuss it with Director Fury immediately. Inside Nick Fury's office, listening to Coulson's story, the bald man really wanted to curse. What kind of plan is this? Treat the World Security Council as a decoration. Will they turn a blind eye to such an obvious attempt to get someone to step down? Tony's plan is really his style. He didn't even consider that S.H.I.E.L.D. is also under surveillance. If we do this, we will all be implicated. And it's not easy to get these high-ranking officials to step down. The Watergate incident took 2 years and 2 months, but Kai can kill all these scum in 2 days. How could Coulson not know? It's just that it's better than doing nothing. So in desperation, S.H.I.E.L.D. joins forces with Tony. Expose all the scandals of senior officials on the list in the shortest possible time. For a time, all countries around the world raised their shoulders and watched the show. The American people said they have long been used to it. What is this? A couple of their presidents have died, and scandals are common. They don't pay as much attention to these things as the NBA. S.H.I.E.L.D. Castle. It is a luxurious castle located on top of Lucia Mountain in central California. The scenery here is beautiful and luxurious. The furniture, tapestries, paintings, sculptures, fireplaces, ceilings, stairs and even entire rooms in the castle are all art treasures. Therefore, it is also a good place for celebrities and powerful people to gather and have fun. Wang Kai's first stop for revenge. It starts here. It was teleported directly. It was still noon here at this time. Wang Kai disappeared and entered without anyone noticing. The man he is looking for is named Guy. He is a white-haired perverted old man in his 60s. It's the first person in the data. Very lucky. The guy Wang Kai was looking for didn't go out. It only took more than 10 minutes to see the old guy who was studying English with the maid on the bed. Upon seeing this, Wang Kai stepped forward and knocked the woman unconscious with a knife. Then he grabbed the old guy by the neck, dragged him off the bed and threw him directly to the floor. Do you know this girl? Take out the picture of Luna and put it in front of the old guy. Guy immediately became extremely frightened and nodded repeatedly. This girl was their only regret that day. Before she could do anything, she jumped from the building and fell to her death. It left a deep impression on everyone. Tell her whereabouts, you have no choice. Wang Kai spoke coldly. The strength in his hands gradually increased. The old guy gradually experienced the feeling of suffocation. And it feels like my neck is about to break. She's not here. Guy struggled to come up with a few words from his throat. His voice was as hoarse as a broken bellows. We didn't touch her, and we didn't kill her. She committed suicide. Wang Kai frowned and released his palm. This is the only good news among the bad news. The old guy fell to the carpet with a thud. Make a violent coughing sound. Upon seeing this, Wang Kai immediately gathered a magic blade and pressed it against his chest. If you want the guards to die, I don't care who you kill. The coughing stopped suddenly. The old guy looked at the blue magic blade in horror. Thinking of the videos that have gone viral these days, he immediately stammered and said, I really didn't touch the girl in the photo. There is no grudge between us. If you want money, I can compensate you, 50 million or 100 million, as long as you don't kill me. Wang Kai was silent for a moment. Suddenly he put away the magic blade and said coldly, okay, tell me where her body is buried. The old guy breathed a sigh of relief. But he didn't speak directly but changed the topic. How can I guarantee my life safety after telling the location? Wang Kai snorted coldly, staring at Guy with both eyes. Because I won't go against $100 million. Is this guarantee enough? The old guy hesitated for a moment. I struggled fiercely in my heart and still chose to believe that no one would give up $100 million because of a corpse. In the woods on the west side of the castle, there is a place marked with white marble. Wang Kai nodded. My feet are as fast as lightning. Suddenly he kicked the old guy in the crotch. There was just a click and the bones shattered instantly. The old guy's eyes were almost bleeding. The miserable howl has not escaped my throat. It was cut off directly by the demon blade. Dark red blood splashed out. Stained with gorgeous carpets, Wang Kai looked at the old guy with a dead look on his face and his face was as cold as ice. You said we have no grudges. Now there is. Turn around and walk out of the bedroom coolly. Wang Kai disappeared and walked toward the woods on the west side. The west side of the castle is a regular artificial forest. All maple trees planted. The castle is only 5 minutes away. Marble, white marble. Wang Kai lowered his head and searched carefully. After a while, I found 2 diagonally opposite pieces of white marble. It looks very shabby. The traces of time are very conspicuous on it. This is it. I tried it on a hard ground. But I don't have any better digging tools at hand. I had no choice but to take out the encouragement shield, which had never had a chance to appear, from the space backpack. The roughly diamond-shaped shape turned out to be relatively easy to dig out. So Wang Kai started digging silently. But a minute later, Wang Kai did not see the rotting and decomposing bodies. But it's all white bones. Even if he knows nothing about identification. I also know that these are at least the bones of corpses that have been dead for a very long time. No matter how stupid you are in this situation, you will know what it means. Chilled Castle was built in the 1920s. Over the course of nearly 90 years of history. I don't know how many people were buried here. The bones have calcified over time. And layer upon layer, although only within this narrow range. But it is enough to witness the history of sin. Do you also want revenge? Wang Kai asked in a low voice. A breeze suddenly appeared in the maple forest. Let many tree trunks sway back and forth. He seemed to be nodding in agreement. Is this a coincidence, or is it something mysterious? It doesn't matter anymore. The history of Chilled Castle ends here. The wind blew under my feet and I took a few breaths before returning to the gate of the castle. At this time, the situation inside was in chaos because the old guy was found dead. Wang Kai activates the immortal demon body, holding huge amounts of the magic blade across his chest. The body twists to the left, eyes shining with anger. Then the whole body's strength was like a volcano erupting, causing an earth-shattering noise. Boom! An astonishing blue sword energy nearly 100 meters wide was instantly released from the blade. Like a crescent moon flying towards the castle at the speed of light. There was no pause after hitting the castle. All I saw was a flash of blue light. Chilled castle was cut into 2 pieces with a knife. Huge amounts of kinetic energy threw the upper part directly into the air. And the blue crescent moon penetrates. He actually flew to the hill 100 meters behind. Then he hit it directly. The sound penetrates the clouds and cracks the rocks. The hilltop suddenly exploded, throwing countless amounts of dirt and gravel into the air. The scene is just like a real volcano erupting. Bang bang bang. Rubbles and soil rained down from the sky. The old castle that was split open by a knife was no exception. Flying back dozens of meters. After landing, it fell into thousands of pieces like a Lego toy. Gray smoke rises into the sky. Everyone on the 3rd floor and above of the castle was buried under the debris. And those who stay where they are, only 1.5 floors of ruins of the castle remain. The fracture is extremely smooth, as if only a magic weapon could cause such damage. It is unimaginable that this was done by an 18-year-old boy. Take out the cat bomb. Wang Kai listened to the panic of crying father and mother in the ruins, as if the end of the world was coming. After thinking for 2 seconds, I decided not to blow up the remaining parts. Not for those lucky ones on the 1st floor, but I want to show this to Snake Shield. My strength is far beyond your imagination. Don't come to hinder me. Turn around and leave the ruins of the castle. No one found the invisible Wang Kai. It's as if all this is God's opening of eyes. Retribution is coming. After returning to the maple forest, continue digging to find Luna's body. A breeze blew past my face. It actually brought a warm feeling. Wang Kai reached out to grab it, but it only felt like quicksand passing in the palm of my hand, elusive. After 2 seconds of silence, he continued digging. Soon I found a jacket buried in the soil. Wang Kai could tell at a glance that these were Luna's clothes. But no body similar to Luna's size was seen. Less than a month has passed. No matter what, it will never turn into bones. Did that old guy lie to me? Impossible. There was no reason for him to seek death under the circumstances at that time. Wang Kai frowned and simply continued digging. But I searched for a while. Still nothing. Just then the phone rang. I opened it and found that it was Coulson's phone. Directly pressing the connect button, Wang Kai wanted to hear what Shield had to say. "Kay, we won't stop you about your sister, but can you slow down before killing her and give us some time to let Shield oust the president and the powerful people from power and minimize the social image?" Wang Kai was silent for a moment. He said coldly, "It's too late, this is my revenge. Take a photo of the current castle and send it to Coulson." The latter could only smile bitterly when he saw this. "Your knife is so fast." Coulson almost reached an agreement with Director Fury. Wang Kai's sword had already been swung down. "You can kill an acquaintance. You can't kill an acquaintance. Those culprits deserve what they deserve. But who knows if there are innocent people in the castle. Cut it down like this. The impact is not as simple as the death of a financial tycoon." "Really? Then you'd better take another look at these." Wang Kai sent another picture in a cold voice. "It is the white bones in the maple forest. When an avalanche occurs, no snowflake is innocent. Just hang up the phone." He has nothing to say to Shield. The advisory role ends here. But Luna's body was not found after searching the mass graves. Wang Kai kept thinking about coming up with the list. Turn around and leave directly for the next powerful man's castle. The local police will come here to dispose of these bones. Of course, they will also expose the whole matter. The speed of the media is always unbelievable. Childish Castle has just had most of its structure cut off with a knife. In less than an hour, media people gathered around like sharks smelling blood. Even though the Rothschild family is extremely powerful. But there was no way to block such a big movement. For a time, news about the pit of bones outside the manor and the God's sanction they had suffered inexplicably spread throughout the internet. No witnesses, no terrorist organization has claimed responsibility for the incident. Therefore, people can easily connect the bones with their families. All of a sudden, various arguments emerged one after another on the internet. But almost everyone thinks that this is a good thing done by the Rothschild family, and now it is just retribution. SHIELD headquarters. Nick Fury looked solemnly at the various reports in the news. Although 60% of the reports here are just guesswork. But they all guessed pretty well. As a large family that began to rise in the early 19th century. Standing on top of the world for nearly 200 years has made them too arrogant. The corpse was buried nearby outside the castle. I don't know whether he was unafraid or overbearing. I had no clue before. No one dared to investigate. Now a ruthless man comes out who is not afraid of anything. The fig leaf was lifted with a knife, revealing the dirty and smelly mud underneath, revealing a corner of corruption and depravity. Sir, Secretary Pierce of the World Security Council would like to speak with you. Agent Hill walked into the office and said. Nick Fury sighed in his heart. Finally came. Half an hour later, Nick Fury left the World Security Council on the top floor, issued an order to arrest Wang Kai, sent an agent team to arrest, and allowed the use of any weapons. Among them are SHIELD's super abilities. Goliath, Bill Foster, appeared in Ant-Man 2. As a former assistant to Dr. Pym, due to contact with Pym particles, he has the ability to freely change his own file size, up to 21 feet, which is 6.4 meters. Ghost, Ava Starr, Bill's adopted daughter, appeared in Ant-Man 2. Due to the explosion of the quantum field experiment, she mutated herself and was between contactable and incontactable. Simply put, she is the Marvel version of Obito. Hawkeye, Clinton Barton, Marvel Lucky, the legendary family all have no effect on him, and the archery master marksman, who grew up in the circus and later entered S.H.I.E.L.D. to become a top agent. Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, a psychological master, a member of the former Soviet agent organization, Red Room, and later joined S.H.I.E.L.D. under the recruitment of Hawkeye. On the Quinjet, Coulson led the team to Morgan Manor. Everyone criticized this action. What the hell is Nick Fury thinking? Let's go die. Goliath was furious when he saw Wang Kai's information. Once he transforms, he becomes like a living target. I'm afraid I can't even survive a single blow. There is no way. He is also in trouble, so our task is not to fight, but to pretend to be fighting so that the director can give an explanation. Coulson looked helpless with a bitter look on his face. Now we can only wait and see if we can find a turning point. Maybe I can kill him. The ghost, whose body was completely wrapped in a white uniform, stretched out his right hand and shook it. An afterimage appeared on his palm and then became translucent. Just put your hand into his brain and squeeze it. As soon as these words came out, everyone looked at each other. Then I felt a chill in my heart. It's that simple. Is it possible? But it can also put you in extremely dangerous situations. Goliath said seriously. He regarded the ghost as his daughter. And there is that father who is willing to put his daughter in danger. The ghost fell silent for a moment. At this time Natasha Romanoff said, "You can also let me try to convince him, so that you don't have to do anything. He killed more than 1,000 gangsters for his sister." Eagle Eye persuaded him with good words, thinking that this was too difficult. "You really want to try it? Are you not confident in my charm?" Natasha Romanoff smiled charmingly, and her stunning appearance made the men in the Quinjet extremely embarrassed. "Sir, we're here." The driver's voice came. "They have arrived at the Morgan family estate." Coulson looked at the safe castle below and breathed a sigh of relief. It hasn't been split in half yet. It looks like we are ahead of him. As soon as he finished speaking, a blue crescent suddenly appeared in front of the castle. The castle was split into two instantly like cutting tofu. Then the blue light flashed and flew into the distance. Let out a high-pitched whistle. The upper part of the castle fell into pieces without any surprise, causing a loud rumbling noise. Everyone in the Quinjet suddenly turned their attention to Coulson. The latter is extremely embarrassing. They had to arrange for everyone to go find Wang Kai immediately. After a while, a few people found the boy who had hacked the castle open with a knife in the garden on the east side of the castle. Wang Kai's face was calm, neither happy nor sad. "All the blooming flowers are being pulled out." "Kay, what are you doing?" Coulson asked softly. "Looking for my sister's body." Wang Kai replied coldly. Compared to burying people in the maple forest at Chilled Castle, this Morgan Castle handles people under the flower beds in the manor. Every red petal blooms. They are all so evil and dazzling. Several people did not dare to act rashly. Let Wang Kai dig. Sure enough, within a minute bones began to appear under the soil. And as the scope of excavation expands, several slightly decomposed bodies were also found. But it has nothing to do with Luna. Strange, could it be that I was wrong as Morgan said? Wang Kai was confused. The second person on the list, John Morgan, said they were having a carnival that day at Child's Castle. The body was definitely there, but why hadn't he found it? Although I saw the clothes. But no one was seen. Is it a more disgusting hobby? Wang Kai felt a chill in his heart. While Wang Kai was deep in thought, the ghost girl felt that she had found a flaw to subdue her opponent. Taking a step forward, an afterimage appeared on the entire body and then became translucent. It turned into nothingness and disappeared. But the next second he appeared next to Wang Kai again. And the arm has actually been stuffed into Wang Kai's neck. Just go ahead and capture me, I've already grasped your cervical vertebrae. What answered her was the ever-expanding fists in her eyes. The ghost girl had no choice but to disappear again and return to nothingness. Do you want to die? Wang Kai's cold words appeared. The others were immediately extremely nervous and took a few steps away. But at this time, the ghost woman's sneer came from all directions. Haha, if you can really kill me, then I really want to thank you. Ever since Ghost Girl experienced the explosion in the quantum field experiment, the whole person will switch repeatedly between reality and nothingness. Like Schrödinger's dead and alive cat. And every time you switch from reality to nothingness, or vice versa, you will feel the pain as if every cell is being torn apart, which is comparable to being cut into pieces by 1,000 cuts. This almost made him collapse. In the face of such pain. Like Dr. Banner, Ghost Girl has thought about committing suicide several times. But unfortunately the situation is the same as Dr. Banner. His body will automatically transform into a virtual form to protect her before she is fatally injured. This means she is almost impossible to kill. Ava, don't attack him. Goliath shouted anxiously. He didn't want his daughter to die in front of him. Coulson also hurriedly said to Wang Kai, we are not here to fight. Just like last time, let's find a place to talk. As a result, just after I finished speaking, the ghost girl took action again. Floating behind Wang Kai like a ghost. Hit the back of the head hard with your elbow. But it turned into nothingness again the moment it was about to come into contact. It was at this moment that a blue light knife flashed across. Just a little bit can cut the ghost girl into 2 pieces. Wang Kai turned around and slashed into the air. How could the ghost girl miss such a good opportunity? Turn into nothingness and float again. This time, he inserted his hand directly into Wang Kai's head. It seems that all it takes is a fierce squeeze. Then he can kill Wang Kai as he said. But is it really that simple? The ghost girl's power is too small. At the same level as ordinary women. It's not enough to kill someone in an instant. Wang Kai reacted quickly and turned around again to slash. The ghost woman who had transformed into an entity transformed into nothingness again. What are you waiting for? Attack immediately while I'm entangled with him. Seeing that Wang Kai reacted so quickly, Ghost Girl had no choice but to call her teammates. Now neither of them can do anything to each other. Goliath is eager to protect his daughter. Take off your shirt and start transforming into a giant. The height reached 6.4 meters in the blink of an eye. And the clothes on his body were not directly burst like Hulk, but grew bigger together. Picking up a boulder in the garden with one hand. It weighs several hundred kilograms at least. Goliath threw him directly at Wang Kai. The huge boulder made a whistling sound at extremely fast speeds. Seeing that it was about to hit Wang Kai, the ghost girl also floated behind her and attacked again. Wang Kai no longer had the patience. Directly activate the immortal demonic body. Bang! The boulder was suddenly knocked back directly by an impact force. It's actually faster than the speed it flew over. He almost hit Goliath. After falling far away, it kicked up dust 2 to 3 meters high. The ghost girl quickly retracted her hand. Even when she touched the magic armor in a state of nothingness, her palm actually felt as if it had been burned by boiling water. Why is this happening? The ghost girl was very shocked. This hadn't happened to her in 20 years. But then I took a look at my burned palm and was immediately pleasantly surprised. Maybe you can actually do it. Come on, kill me. The ghost woman took off her mask and looked wildly. Open your arms as if to welcome freedom. This was the relief she prayed for so much. No, do not want. Goliath hurriedly stepped forward to stop him. He picked up a granite slab and used it as a brick to pat Wang Kai. Natasha Romanoff looked at the scene and was speechless. Where's the talk you promised? He immediately gave Hawkeye a wink. Comrades with many years of cooperation experience will instantly understand. He took out 2 electric shock arrows and shot them at Goliath and Ghost Girl respectively. The arrow is coming in an instant. The nails made a sizzling sound when they were nailed. Goliath's body trembled and the granite slab was slapped directly on his feet. He grimaced in pain. As soon as the Ghost Girl was hit by the arrow, her body automatically reacted and turned into nothingness. The electric shock arrow penetrated directly and fell to the ground. Although it caused no harm to her. But the pain caused by the physical transformation is more severe than the electric shock arrow. Ah! The Ghost Girl let out a shrill scream and lay down on the ground. This time the pain was more severe than before. My whole body was shaking and convulsing as if I was having epilepsy. Goliath quickly turned his body into a trot and ran forward to check on his daughter. Wang Kai was so speechless that he didn't know what to say. Just seeing Goliath caring so much about Ghost Girl. Feeling weak, he took out a small green medicine bottle and threw it to the other party. Give her to drink it, it will heal any injury. Goliath was ill and sought medical treatment indiscriminately. He glanced at the small medicine bottle and drank it directly to the Ghost Girl. The effect of the medicine is very obvious after taking it into the mouth. In an instant, the Ghost Girl's hands stopped shaking and her heart stopped panicking. She felt so comfortable that she wanted nothing to do with it. How is this going? The Ghost Girl looked at her hands in surprise with her eyes widened. Even if you actively want to turn it into nothingness, you can't do it. The potion he drank seemed to heal himself in an instant. There is an extra warmth in my body. In addition to constantly repairing your own damaged cells. He is still stabilizing his condition temporarily. Okay, isn't this good? Everyone, please calm down. Natasha Romanoff hurriedly stepped forward to calm everyone's emotions. Coulson also came over and said to Wang Kai, Shield does not want to be your enemy, but your knife is too fast and we were sent before we could react. Yes, and the media will be here soon. It's best to find a place to talk now. Eagle Eye looked around and said. Everyone urged each other. Wang Kai smiled coldly. Talk, do you expect me to compromise? Wang Kai left invisibly without any intention of talking to them. This unexpected situation caught Coulson and others unexpectedly. Natasha Romanoff immediately took out equipment like a telescope from her arms and put it in front of her eyes to look around. The Ghost Girl looked around anxiously. She had just found hope that she could cure herself. In the end, Wang Kai walked cleanly and neatly. She didn't even have time to say a word. The infrared imager can't find any trace. It seems like it's not just optical stealth. Natasha Romanoff put down the telescope with a little regret. Coulson felt even more defeated. What on earth are they doing here? What now, sir? Everyone focused their attention on Coulson. Waiting for his orders. Coulson sighed in his heart. That's what I said, but I asked Director Fury. After a little bit of rant, Coulson led all the agents back to the Quinjet, which only lasted 10 minutes. Half an hour later, the police and media people arrived one after another. I saw half of the castle and the white bones on the ground repeatedly broadcast on the news. I understand everything. This is another, God sanction. Under the crazy rendering of the media. In addition to losing important elders and family castles, the 2 major families also. Even the stocks of their companies have fallen sharply. As the saying goes, cutting off someone's financial path is like killing one's parents. This makes the 2-century family extremely hostile to the unknown enemy. Hatred breeds anger, and anger breeds madness. Rockefeller Estate. This is the final place where madness burns out. There are so many people here. Wang Kai looked at the gorgeous 6-story low castle in the manor. The area outside was surrounded by heavily armed soldiers. There are also armored vehicles. And 100 meters away there was a dense crowd of media people. They have set up a camera and are filming the live broadcast. It was as if he knew Wang Kai would definitely come here. Several armed helicopters were hovering in the sky. All are loaded with missiles. It's a fight to the death. Faced with such a huge battle, Wang Kai thought about it and decided to use the 10 consecutive draws. He piled the immortal demon body higher to ensure safety. It would be better if he could draw more powerful skills. System, I want to draw a lottery, 10 draws in a row. Ding, 1000 check-in points have been consumed, and the lottery is in progress. Ding, congratulations to the host for getting Kai Daddy's skin, Guardian of Dawn. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the summoner skill, Flash. Ding, congratulations to the host for acquiring the skill of time travel. Ding, congratulations to the host for acquiring the skill, Sweet Love Wind. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining consumables, Small Medicine Bottles 3. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the consumables, Small Speaker 1. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining a special item, Passionate Roses 10. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining a special item and skill enhancement points 3. Wang Kai was so excited looking at all the rewards that he didn't know what to say. I can only express my feelings and say the 2 words that best express my feelings. Guardian of Dawn, armor of holy light and an energy body beyond human understanding, energy crystals shaped like angels' feathers, the hem of the robe with a white cross, holding a cross blade to summon angels' weapon to protect peace. It sounds awesome, but this is just a skin, not a hero template, so there is no need to think about the blessing of the energy body. Flash, flash a certain distance in the specified direction, cooling time is 120 seconds. Time travel, quickly flash a certain distance in the specified direction. One time travel can be prepared every 10 seconds, and up to 3 time travels can be reserved. Comparing the 2, or time travel is better. Sweet Love Wind, summons a whirlwind of pink petals in the designated area to attack and knock away objects in the area. Cooling time 10 seconds. This skill, Wang Kai finally thought of an extremely pretentious way to use it. Small speaker, amplify your voice to within a radius of 10 kilometers so that everyone can hear it clearly. Check out all the rewards. Although there are no powerful skills, but by combining these, a more shocking power can be unleashed. This time he not only wanted to appear openly and honestly, and it will shock everyone's jaws. Inside Roche Castle, the last member of the big family on Wang Kai's list is waiting with a murderous look on his face. The death of 2 old friends made him vaguely feel that the other party might be coming for them. Therefore, the strongest force was mobilized in the shortest time. The armed forces outside are just a cover. The real killer move is the countless medium-sized missiles aimed at this place. As long as that person dares to appear, even if it costs your own life, even if Luo's castle is razed to the ground, he will never come back. While the old man with a murderous look on his face was waiting quietly. But suddenly I heard an extremely noisy cheer coming from outside. My lord, this is really God's sanction. Angel has arrived. The old man suddenly felt bad, immediately looked out the window. But his pupils shrank instantly. The shocked heart seemed to be about to stop. The cross depression on the chest. Solemn and holy white gold-rimmed armor. Feather-like shoulder armor cyan energy body. What is it if it's not Angel? I saw Angel landing from the sky. A pink whirlwind suddenly appeared under my feet. Rapidly reduced the speed of his descent. When we arrived at the castle, we no longer felt the slightest impact. Pink petals surround Angel. It is simply what countless believers are most looking forward to. At this moment, it is silent here, regardless of the 3 major families, or the soldiers who were ordered to come to protect, as well as media people who live broadcast on the periphery. Even viewers watching the live broadcast in front of the TV. They all opened their eyes and mouths wide. For a while, I even forgot to breathe. Countless pairs of shocked eyes stared motionlessly at Angel falling from the sky. Their minds went blank and they had no idea what to do next. That's the good thing about religion. Wang Kai looked around. The nearest soldiers suddenly didn't even know that their weapons had fallen to the ground. He even threw away his weapon and knelt down towards Angel. And the helicopters in the sky almost collided. Slay evil, eliminate evil. Go back underground. Angel's voice is deafening. You can hear clearly even from hundreds of meters away. Countless people were shocked, as if they had foreseen what would happen next. Wang Kai turned around and faced the castle. Stretching out his right hand, a dazzling golden light instantly lit up in the palm of his hand. Then it slowly condensed into a cyan sword with a golden cross handle. Weigh it on your chest. A light wave. In an instant, golden light suddenly appeared, and countless people either squinted their eyes or stretched out their hands to cover it. A golden crescent moon rises into the sky. Luo's castle was suddenly split in half with a roar. Exactly the same as the first two castles. It fell to the ground and shattered into a pile of construction debris. Only half of the ruins of the castle remain in place. And at this time, no soldiers, helicopters, or missiles dared to fire the first shot. They just looked at it with blank minds, just watching Wang Kai put away the knife. A blue halo that keeps moving upward appears all over the body. A pink whirlwind appears again at your feet. The petals are flying in the wind. Angel rides on the wind. In the blink of an eye, it turned into a point of light and disappeared on the spot. And at the place where he disappeared, a shower of roses fell gracefully. And until 10 seconds later, everyone at the scene reacted. A cry echoed through the sky. Angel is coming. Kill evil and eliminate evil. The three major families are the evil in the world. Yes, they are evil, evil, evil. The evil cry reaches to the sky. Cold sweat instantly appeared on the faces of everyone in the three major families. The 200 years of foundation of the three major families will be destroyed by a miracle. Nick Fury smiled meaningfully while watching the live news broadcast. Even if S.H.I.E.L.D. knew this was 100% false, I will never take the initiative to expose a scam. After all, there are too many people who believe it, and even what is false is true. What's more, now the corpses under the castles of the three major families have been hammered with rocks. The momentum has been built. 2/3 of the people in the United States believe in religion. This includes all social classes. When the president is sworn in, he has to press a Bible. You can know how big an impact this matter will have. Wang Kai kills people with one move and kills people. The living soil of the three flourishing families has been destroyed, and their destruction is only a matter of time. Sir, what should we do now? Coulson's scalp felt numb when he saw the enthusiastic media people in the news. Now as long as Wang Kai shows up, it's basically like opening your mouth and telling someone to die. Even if you are a perfectly good person, it's completely useless. One sentence can describe you as socially dead. If you stay at home, there will be fanatical idiots coming to look for trouble. On the street, you will be shot within a minute. It is simply a fatal curse. You tell me what to do. Nick Fury showed a smile like an old fox. Just continue to release scandals about senior officials and wait quietly for God's sanction. Now things have formed a closed loop. Social influence will also be reduced to a minimum. Even if S.H.I.E.L.D. does nothing, there will be no social unrest as expected. After all, the murderer was Angel, sent by God to punish the evil in the world. How can the laws of the world restrain God? There will be no demonstrations. Only cheers for justice being done. Probably the happiest person right now is the vice president. Nick Fury quipped. Coulson nodded in agreement and smiled meaningfully. And Pierce, who wants S.H.I.E.L.D. to compete with Wang Kai. Watching Angel's arrival, his face turned ugly. There was no real fire between the two sides. His conspiracy was completely ineffective. Washington. A crowd of crazy protesters gathered outside a certain white building. There are also parades surrounding this place. People hold up billboards and banners, holding a loudspeaker and demanding that the president step down and thoroughly investigate all senior officials related to the scandal. The loudest voice in the crowd. Just one sentence. God will send Angel to punish you. And the voice is getting louder and louder. It can be heard clearly even in offices with white buildings. Mr. President, the approval rating of Congress has dropped by nearly 20 points, and the Democratic Party has voted to hope that you will take the blame and resign. Waterfa, why so fast? There is nothing we can do about it. Otherwise, everyone will be laid off. The vice president is already popping champagne to celebrate. Quote. The vice president then announced his inauguration. The previous unlucky guy was thoroughly investigated. Within a few days, people were killed in accidental car accidents, and coincidentally, almost within a week, such misfortunes kept happening to the same group of people. Although Angel's arrival was not photographed, but everyone believes that this is God's sanction. Countless people clapped their hands and applauded. Of course, this is all a story for later. It happened after Wang Kai found his sister. At this time, two uninvited guests came to Brooklyn's home, the Punisher and Daredevil. You're finally back. I can't get through to you on the phone. The Punisher sat carelessly on the sofa. Daredevil on the side is very upright. I'm sorry to come in without permission, but we have important clues to tell you about your sister. Daredevil just finished speaking. A bright light suddenly flashed in Wang Kai's eyes and he asked anxiously, "What clue?" "It is this." The Punisher took out a document bag from his pocket. There are a lot of candid photos inside. There are men and women among them. Most of them are young people. There are also children. Among them is Wang Kai's sister Luna, and Daredevil's girlfriend Elektra. Seeing Wang Kai's confusion, the Punisher immediately explained, "I found this by accident when Matt and I were acting together. These photos did not attract our attention at first, but just the day before yesterday, Matt discovered that Erica's body had been exhumed long ago, and the people in these photos also disappeared without a trace. So we guess that your sister is probably related to this case." Wang Kai was suddenly shocked. "Did you get the photos from a ninja killer organization called the Handwakai?" "How do you know?" *2. Punisher and Daredevil asked in surprise. Wang Kai remained silent. My mind quickly connects all the clues, coupled with the plot of the meeting between Daredevil and the hand in the memory. Soon I had a rough guess. The body. They were the ones who took the body away. Wang Kai's eyes narrowed, revealing his eyes that were selective and devouring. The history of Hand Heihui is hundreds of years old. Japan was born at the end of the 16th century. More than 400 years ago, Kagenobu Yoshioka, who was born as a samurai, began to lead the Hand Association and developed it into an international organization. Begin to believe in the original demon, the beast. The Hand has since become a notorious group of ninja killers. And their current 5 leaders are called the Five Fingers. They are all traitors who escaped from Kunlun, China. They use dragon bones to extend their lives and have lived for 400 to 500 years. In Daredevil and its spin-offs, Hand can use the dragon bone to have the ability to resurrect others. The dead Erica was resurrected, and let Hand and Wei believe in the original demon beast possession. Become the most powerful weapon of the Hand and the society, Black Sky. Before possession, the original demon beast needs a container. Obviously, this group of desperate ninja killers are selecting containers possessed by beasts. Erica and Luna are both one of their targets. It is exactly this. Why did Wang Kai not find Luna's body? Because the body was dug up by the Shuhui people. This blasphemous act of decedent. Daredevil, do you know where the headquarters of the Hand and Society is in Japan? Wang Kai clenched his fists and asked coldly. Daredevil shook his head. I don't know, but my teacher Gunsu should know a lot about it. Any organization will have objections. They also distinguish between good and bad people. Those who could not accept Kagenobu Yoshioka's approach left the Hand. The Innocence Society was established, dedicated to fighting against the Yin ninjas of the Hand. Gunsu is now the leader of the Innocence Society. Okay, take me to find him. After a while, the 3 of them came to a dilapidated apartment, and saw Gunsu practicing martial arts on the roof of the building. Gunsu is also a blind man. His hair and beard are gray. As an ordinary person at such an old age, it is really difficult for him to fight against the group of ninja maniacs who kill people in Shoheihui. Master, I brought 2 friends here. Daredevil walked forward with Wang Kai and the Punisher. Everything was told quickly. What a poor child. After hearing this, Gunsu sighed. At the same time, he was also full of curiosity about Wang Kai's power. Where did the teenager who killed Kingpin and the New York gang come from? I do know the headquarters of the Hand, but I can't watch you die in vain. There are so many dangers there that even you won't be able to escape unscathed. Wang Kai glanced at Gunsu indifferently. Activate the immortal demonic body immediately. An impact exploded. He almost knocked down the 2 blind men, Stickman and Daredevil. The sacred and solemn angel comes again. The Punisher looked dumbfounded. What Stickman and Daredevil felt was a suffocating sense of oppression. I don't have that much time to talk nonsense with you. Tell you where the headquarters of the Hand Association is, otherwise, I will die. Wang Kai roared in a low voice. The cyan magic blade pointed directly at the 2 of them. Upon seeing this, the Punisher immediately stepped forward to act as a peacemaker and tried to persuade him. Don't be so stubborn, old man, he is very strong. He can cut the building you live in into rubble with one knife. Kai, please put down the sword and say what you have to say. Daredevil felt Wong Kai's current tyrannical strength. So he also persuaded, Master, Kai is not a reckless person. He must be confident if he dares to go. Just tell him, yeah, how powerful this hand can be. I don't think anyone can survive Kai's blow. Gunsu's heart is beating and his hands are shaking. I have never seen such a strong force. It feels like even facing the black sky is nothing more than this. Force yourself to calm down. The old man knocked on the rooftop with his guide stick. Young people don't respect martial ethics and attacked my 69-year-old comrade secretly. But since you care so much about your family, I will tell you the address of the Hand's Japanese headquarters. After telling the location, Gunsu cleared his throat. I can take you there, you'll need our Innocence Society's help. No, you guys are too slow, they are just rubbish, just stop there. Wong Kai said coldly, directly start the teleport to Japan. After 3 seconds, he disappeared on the spot. Only the Punisher and the blind duo were left looking confused. Why did he disappear suddenly? Daredevil asked. It must have been teleported to the other side of the earth. The Punisher sighed in his heart. Not seeing you for a few days. The boy who was frantically looking for his sister was actually so powerful. 3 o'clock in the morning Japanese time. A solemn angel wearing white gold-rimmed armor suddenly appeared outside the Hand's headquarters. Wong Kai looked at the Japanese-style ancient buildings in front of him. The cyan magic blade condenses in the hand. With one hand, he slashed straight down. Boom! The 40-meter sword reappears. The golden light split the gate of the building complex into pieces, exposing the Japanese-style courtyard inside. Sliding paper doors can be seen everywhere. The little lights in the courtyard reflect the dry landscape of white sand and stones. There are also cherry blossom trees and red maples planted. All show the freehand style here. Wong Kai put away the magic blade and walked into the courtyard. Within 5 seconds, many ninjas wearing red robes and holding chain scythes appeared. These are the crazy ninjas of the Hand who kill people like crazy. They are not afraid of death. It is the most commonly used cannon fodder of the Hand. Many robed ninjas lowered their bodies and gathered towards Wong Kai. It only took a moment to surround Wong Kai. Then he threw out the chain sickle in his hand. In an instant, an iron net was woven in the sky and covered with Wong Kai. Faced with such a village-like attack, Wong Kai didn't even look at it. Directly use time travel to escape from the iron grid. Then activate sprint and wind spirit emblem. In the eyes of the dozens of ninjas surrounding him, he instantly turned into an afterimage. The golden sword shines. Draw a circle in the dark courtyard. All the ninjas' heads suddenly flew up and then turned into ashes and disappeared. No trace left on the ground. The people in charge come out. Wong Kai stood in the courtyard and roared at the buildings behind him. He didn't have the patience to search slowly. To capture the thief, capture the king first. Just grab the 5 old immortals and ask them. Being beaten to the headquarters. The most fiery-tempered master among the 5 fingers appeared immediately. And he also called his men. A group of mercenaries wearing modern equipment. Yes, they are mercenaries. In addition to being one of the 5 fingers of the Hand, Botu is also the leader of a mercenary group in Europe. No matter who you are, if you dare to come here to cause trouble, you will pay the price. Fire! With the roar of the disciples, the strongest white man in the mercenary team immediately pulled the trigger. The 6-barrel Vulcan cannon in his hand roared fiercely, spitting out tongues of blazing fire. 6,000 bullets per minute almost form a dense spear of death. They all shot towards Wong Kai like a gust of wind. Even an iron wall can screen the range. But facing the magic armor. But there was only a continuous sound of dang 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 that was almost continuous. The immortal demon body is never afraid of multiple attacks. The death spear of the Vulcan cannon is just a scratch to the demon armor. Time travel. Wong Kai's body flashed and disappeared suddenly. The next moment he appeared in front of Botu, grabbing Botu by the neck. Throw it quickly like a sandbag towards the Vulcan cannon that is still shooting in place. The death spear tore it into pieces with almost no hindrance. The scene was extremely bloody for a while. Before the mercenary team had time to react, the blue sword light flashed. The mercenaries just tried to cover their necks and knocked their heads off. There are only 4 fingers left out of 5. Keep walking inside. The ninja who appeared again finally looked like a ninja. Throw various styles of darts, kunai, and throwing knives. But when the Vulcan cannon is useless, what role can these traditional ninja tools play? Wong Kai steps on the void. Activate time travel 3 times in a row. The golden sword light almost lit up in the yard at the same time. Then he turned many ninjas into ashes one by one. Stop. Who is your excellency? Why are we here without any grievances? An old and slightly anxious voice appeared. One of the 5 fingers, Murakami, wearing a kimono, hurried over with katana. He knew that he was no match for Wong Kai, so he just wanted to delay a little time so that others could come over as soon as possible. If you are seeking wealth, I still have a Japanese financial group, and I can serve you as a tribute. Murakami wanted to use money to find something to talk about. Wong Kai didn't want to talk to him. Flashing forward to the white-haired Murakami. Like a ghost, Murakami was so scared that he took 2 steps back. Then he took out Luna's photo from the system backpack. Hand over this man, life or death. Wong Kai's cold voice reached Murakami's ears. The latter's pupils shrank when he looked at the photo. Isn't this their leader Haikong? Why does it have anything to do with this person dressed as Angel? May I ask what this person's relationship is to you? He is my family, my sister Luna. Your sister. Murakami was shocked. Immediately I was reminded of the recent rumors in the New York underworld. There was a madman who massacred the entire New York gang in search of his sister. Could it be this guy? With a thought in his heart, Murakami immediately came up with a good idea. Please let me take you there. Your sister is still alive. Wong Kai's body trembled. Still alive? Does that mean he was resurrected? Okay, take me there. The trembling voice attracted Murakami's attention. But he walked ahead quietly and led the way. The wooden clogs on my feet made a clicking sound when stepping on the wooden corridor. Crisp and loud, especially loud under the silent night sky. Are you texting Morse code? Wong Kai suddenly asked in a cold voice. He doesn't understand Morse code. But we also know that a person cannot walk lightly or heavy. There is no pattern at all. This communication method is too inferior. No, absolutely not. Murakami quickly denied. Wong Kai ignored it. No matter what you send. Who else was called? I'll cut it off with a knife. Keep leading the way. After a while, Murakami took Wong Kai to a 3-story courtyard at the back. The modernly decorated hall was already brightly lit. 3 people were looking at Wong Kai warily. Mrs. Gao, with a wrinkled face and a cane. I woke up in the middle of the night without forgetting Alexandra in a suit. And the African warlord Sawanda. The remaining 4 of the 5 fingers of the hand are gathered together. Where's my sister? Wong Kai asked indifferently. At the same time, the cyan magic blade is already in the palm of his hand. The 4 of them are facing a formidable enemy. They all took a few steps back. Please wait a moment, our leader will be here soon. Alexandra said hurriedly. She is the weakest among the 5 fingers. An ordinary person could stab her to death with 1 knife. Not to mention the guy who killed Hakuto and dozens of ninjas. Better hurry up, my patience is very limited. Wong Kai put away the magic blade and waited silently. The 4 old guys who had lived for hundreds of years began to make eye contact. I don't know what they are plotting. 2 minutes later. Just when Wong Kai was getting impatient. One is wearing a red shirt. A long-haired woman wearing a black vest walked slowly. With fresh eyebrows and bright eyes, red lips and pink face, she is refined, like a fish and a goose. It was Luna who Wong Kai had been looking for almost a month. Luna. Wong Kai was extremely surprised. Involuntarily, he shouted. However, Luna's eyes were cold and her face was gloomy. After taking one look at Wong Kai, murderous intent suddenly appeared on his face. Then his feet were extremely fast. Compared with the 100-meter flying man, it is nowhere near as good. In the blink of an eye, he ran to Wong Kai and punched him. When Wong Kai saw this, he naturally ducked away. At the same time, he shouted loudly, Luna, can't you hear my voice? I'm your brother. Boom. What returned to Wong Kai's words was a fist comparable to steel. Luna punched the magic armor. The powerful power surprised Wang Kai himself. Being possessed by that beast and turning into black sky can actually make him so powerful. That punch just now had at least 2 tons of power. Even the granite was shattered. Luna. Wang Kai was anxious. Then I wanted to kill the remaining hand leaders first. Then they took off their masks and recognized each other in a cliché plot. As a result, when I turned around, all 4 people disappeared. I don't know when I left here. Luna, look at me. In desperation, Wang Kai could only cancel the immortal demon body. Reach out and wipe it on your face. Angel's armor turns into little streams of light and blends into the body, revealing that handsome young face. At this time, the shadow under Wang Kai's feet seemed to come alive. After twisting a few times, 3 darts were shot out from it. Then a big living person actually came out of it. At the same time, a silver sword light lit up. He slashed directly at Wang Kai's neck. Daydreaming, whispering wind. The green ring on his left hand suddenly lit up. A translucent white shield appeared on Wang Kai's body. He blocked all the darts and sword lights. You still can't do it. Murakami emerged from Wang Kai's shadow and suddenly shouted. Immediately afterwards, Wang Kai felt his head suddenly become confused. I feel like my mind is blank. Psychic attack. Purify. Almost at the same time, the shield was broken by Suawanda and Mrs. Gao. The distance between the 2 men's daggers and Wang Kai was only 10 centimeters. But it is as untouchable as heaven and earth. I saw Wang Kai disappear without a trace in a flash. The next moment, he appeared behind Murakami. The magic blade in his hand slashed horizontally. Murakami seemed to feel it. Try your best to twist and resist. Put the katana in your hand in front of you. Just listen to a bang sound. Murakami and his men were cut into 2 pieces by Wang Kai. Madame Gao's pupils suddenly shrank. But he saw that Wang Kai had disappeared in his eyes. Then it felt like my blood was going to run cold. Behind me again. Phew. Almost instantly, I lost all feeling in my lower body. All the strength in my body was lost even more quickly. One last look at Sawanda, who was trying to escape. What is in my heart is that no one can escape. Yes, none of them can escape. Use your last strength. Mrs. Gao shouted desperately to Luna. Beast. Roar. An inhuman roar came from Luna's body, like awakening the devil from hell. Luna's eyes were red and her face was ferocious. The speed is nearly twice as fast as before. In the blink of an eye, he arrived in front of Wang Kai. Then he even ignored the happiness of his brother's lower body, aimed at the crotch and kicked him hard. Wang Kai was instantly shocked. All 3 stages of time and space travel are used. He was just a hair away from being kicked. Fortunately, he still had a life-saving flash. An embarrassing fate was avoided by disappearing instantly. This is the toughest move for girls to fight. Wang Kai's eyelids twitched. Looking at Luna, one could tell that the possessed beast had invaded her consciousness, but it would probably not be easy to drive the beast out of her body. The immortal demon body activates again. The solemn angel descends. Wang Kai thought for a while and came up with a line. Light blade, please protect her again. To no avail, Luna stepped forward and kicked her again, but it was as if she had hit an iron plate. She hugged her feet and lay on the ground rolling in pain. Mischief can be corrected, but evil needs to be resisted. You are kinder than you think, and you can resist the will of that beast. I talked a few words, but it was still of no use. Wang Kai has no talent for mouth escape. Also proves that this is just a skin. There is no divine angel power. Feeling helpless, he directly carried Luna on his shoulders. You can't break his defense anyway. He just let her scratch his shoulders. Carrying my sister Wang Kai, the wind still blows under my feet at an extremely fast speed. In the blink of an eye, they found Alexandra running away with a look of fear, and many ninjas surrounding her to protect her. Garbage should stay in the trash can. Killed him with one knife and threw the body back to the hand headquarters. Wang Kai stood outside the door and started throwing cat bombs inside. I threw a dozen of them while waiting for the cooling time. After completely turning this place into ruins, he strode away. Leave hand and meat. Wang Kai immediately called Xiaojiao. Ask her to help arrange a private jet to fly him back to New York. After all, Wang Kai can teleport back by himself. But Luna can't, and Luna seems to have endless energy on her shoulders. struggling and biting all the time. Like a newly raised kitten. It's like letting go. I'm afraid that Wang Kai will run away as soon as he lets go. You can't board a plane like this. Wang Kai watched Luna open her big mouth and reveal her tiger fangs, with a ferocious expression on her face, filled with helplessness. At this time, the bamboo on the roadside gave Wang Kai an inspiration. Immediately cut out a bamboo tube and tie it with rope. Come on, cuz Nezuko. Click, the bamboo tube was chewed directly to pieces. Hiss, Wang Kai took a breath of air. Sure enough, everything in anime is a lie. How about I replace it with an iron one for you? Luna's eyes suddenly widened, then his face became more ferocious. The small fists kept hitting Wang Kai's chest, making a dull sound of dong dong dong. It shows how powerful this punch is. But still can't break through the defense. It's difficult. How can we get rid of this beast? Wang Kai thought in his mind. Then I decided to let Tony go and have a look first. What if he, a genius like him, doesn't have any good ideas? Then we had to set off to find the Midgardian talker. After dawn, Wang Kai discovered that the person who came to pick him up was Tony's driver, friend and bodyguard Happy. Oh my god, I can actually see the sacred and majestic angel up close. It's just like that, I know, but now everyone on the internet thinks you are a real angel descended to earth. Can I take a photo with you? Quote. Let's go back to New York first. Okay, no problem, get in the car first. Question. What does it feel like to ride in a car with a crazy airha in your arms? Answer. You have to get off after 100 meters, because the car is almost torn into pieces. Happy looked at the nearly scrapped car and was dumbfounded. The leather seats were torn. There are signs of being hit hard with a sledgehammer everywhere. There are actually several punch marks on the roof of the car. If they were causing trouble like this on the plane, they would have to think about how to write a suicide note. Mr. Kai, are you sure she can fly? Ahem, don't worry, it's just that the space in the carriage is too small for her to reach. Wang Kai looked at Luna, who was not honest at all, and scratched his head. This trip certainly won't be easy. When the three finally arrived in New York, Happy cried so hard. Wang Kai was also extremely tired. Luna made a fuss all the way. Although the aircraft was not dismantled. But the car was dismantled a lot. Happy was even more unlucky and almost got kicked out. The whole face was photographed on the front windshield. My nose still feels a little sore now. Finally, I had no choice but to find a freight truck. The place was very big and we could only stop when Wang Kai was there. I'm sorry for that kick, Luna, I'll give this to you. Wang Kai took out the charging gloves. This thing takes up a lot of space in a space backpack. He remembered that Happy was still an amateur boxer. Practiced it in Iron Man 2. This is magic equipment, giving you a chance to cause greater damage. Happy immediately followed with joy. I can't put it down for the rechargeable gloves. Taking Luna with her teeth and claws to Tony's laboratory. When she passed the glass door, Luna shattered all the glass with one punch. Tony, who was making armor inside, was startled. Wang Kai had no choice but to explain awkwardly. Tony suddenly became interested. A demon from another dimension. It seems quite interesting. Jarvis, check Luna's physical condition immediately. A blue light curtain suddenly appeared. Scan Luna and Wang Kai from top to bottom. Jarvis's data came out a moment later. Everything is normal, and it's a great kind of normal. Wang Kai was speechless immediately. Is it normal to be so crazy? Strange, if according to you Luna is possessed by a demon from another world, why can't I detect any abnormal energy? Tony looked at Jarvis' various data reports and was puzzled. If you could give me more time to test. In the evening, at most, I will take her to another place for treatment, which is much more reliable than you. Wang Kai doesn't have that much time to waste. Who knows if this beast will become more difficult to eradicate as time goes by. HMPH, I can't even cure anyone else who is stronger than me. Tony thought quietly, then we started to seize the time to detect. But even if Wang Kai comes to cooperate, still no progress. When night fell, Tony, who had been busy all day, still refused to admit failure, and just thought about the lack of time. Wang Kai shrugged and didn't care. He took Luna with him to the rooftop. Then he threw his sister into the air. Screams suddenly sounded, and Wang Kai thought silently in his heart. System, switch hero template. The immortal demonic body disappears. Metal storm appears. The large mecha caught Luna with one hand. The other hand shielded her from the wind. The body turned and flew straight to the New York temple. He's going to find the Ancient One. Supreme Mage. As the leader of Midgard, the Eye of Agamotto, the owner of the Time Stone. The Ancient One must have had 10,000 ways to expel this beast from Luna's body. So just look for her. New York Temple Gate. Golden light spots suddenly flashed under the dark night sky. And quickly expanded into a circle. The portal formed almost instantly. A cool bald man wearing a gray robe walked out from the other side holding a white paper fan. None other than the Ancient One, the Sorcerer Supreme. Almost at this moment, Wong Kai drove Metal Storm to the sky above the New York Temple. I saw the person I was looking for at the first glance. This friend from afar, would you like to have a cup of tea? With great pleasure. Wong Kai piloted Metal Storm to land slowly. The mecha disappeared in a flash of golden light. Luna seemed to have seen a natural enemy. Shivering in place, not daring to run away. Wong Kai was very surprised when he saw it. He was indeed in the right place. Please come in. Ancient One personally opened the door to the New York Temple for Wong Kai. Wong Kai felt a little flattered. How powerful will he be in the future? To have the Ancient One receive him like this. The moment Wong Kai opened the door and entered, he felt as if the space was changing. They are already on the second floor. In front of you is a square table. There are teapots and cups on it. On the right is the iconic skylight of the New York Temple. Luna continued to tremble. He didn't even dare to look at the Supreme Mage. I already know what you want from me. Ancient One poured a cup of tea for each of the three people and said. But I can only suppress the beast, not drive it away or kill it. Why? Wong Kai was shocked. Could it be that even the Supreme Mage couldn't deal with this beast? Impossible. Whether it's Luna's performance in the drama or now. All wild beasts can be called weak chickens. Not even Dome's hair is worthy of it. How could it not be possible? Is it because the beast is too strong? Wong Kai asked. Ancient One smiled slightly. No, on the contrary, it's because it's too weak. The kids from next door came to your house to play and broke a few cups. As an elder, you can't just kick them out. This will cause the next door neighbor to come and ask for an explanation. Next door, is it another dimension? Wong Kai thought a lot in his mind at that moment. But without waiting for him to ask questions, Ancient One began to explain. When I say next door, I mean hell. This beast is actually just a large dog from hell, created by Mephisto, the king of hell, Satan. It was originally Mephisto's food. There are many demons like this. But this beast developed self-awareness due to accidental contact with the greedy Japanese people back then. In order to avoid the fate of becoming food, it tried every means to stay in the world. But this is actually because Mephisto thought it was fun and ignored it. After all, the meat bun in your mouth suddenly doesn't want to be eaten by you and wants to run away. This kind of thing is also very interesting. Wong Kai was stunned after hearing this. It turned out to be just that. But instantly there were more questions. Isn't Satan Lucifer? No, Satan is just a title. Just like the Supreme Mage, he is the supreme devil in the dimension of hell. Although many people are called Satan, only Mephisto can bear this title. He is the Emperor of Hell, the supreme ruler. Even I can only compete with him on Earth. To be evaluated like this by the Supreme Mage, it's enough to show how powerful Mephisto is. You must know that all Hell Lords have a common problem. That means that you cannot display your true strength in other planes. So in the case of away games, Mephisto tied with Ancient One. From another aspect, it shows that Mephisto's strength is definitely greater than Ancient One. Wong Kai frowned and remained silent for a moment before continuing to ask questions. What kind of place is hell? There is a recycling bin for the souls of ordinary people after death. It is another dimension. It is so vast that it has no boundaries, and there are many demon kings living in it. In addition, depending on different beliefs, it is also possible to go to other places, such as the underworld, the Hall of Heroes, the underworld, etc. After the death of unbelievers, their souls will be dispersed between heaven and earth, and they will not be manipulated by others like believers after death. It's just that there are very few such people, and you in China have the most. Ah, probably because of his belief in Red Will. Wong Kai scratched his head. There is definitely no such thing as a devil behind this one. Supreme Mage, you can't take action, so I'll do it. Why don't you teach me how to drive the beast out of Luna's body? You can, but it will take you 1,000 years to do it. Quote. Sorry kid, you don't have the talent to learn magic. Click. Wang Kai seemed to hear the sound of heartbreak. But then Ancient One changed the topic and continued. However, there are other ways to drive away the beast. Please ask the Supreme Mage to teach me. Wang Kai bowed respectfully. Ancient One immediately explained the method without any pretense. First, you go and beat up Mephisto and ask him to take his dog away. Okay, but how far do I have to go before I can beat him? In Pengu's form, if you beat Yang Jian and Hui in one hand, or you can cut the moon in half with one strike, that's enough to fight him, because he can't kill you at that time. Oh, Wang Kai understood instantly. Ancient One must have seen it in advance. I also looked at several possibilities. Otherwise it would be impossible to say so accurately. Pengu was a god, Yang Jian and Hui were priests. Isn't it easy to fight the devil of hell? I understand. Since there is a first, what about the second? Second, let Luna drive the beast away by herself. Deport yourself. That's right, although you don't have the talent to become a mage, she does. Ancient One reached out to Luna. What could it be? Wang Kai's eyes lit up and he was overjoyed. Looking at the smiling face of Ancient One, you will know that you were right. I want to take Luna as my apprentice and teach her magic. Are you willing? Of course I do. A brother is like a father, so I will make the decision for her. Can the Ancient One accept disciples in person? Luna's magic talent must be much higher than him. Maybe even higher than Doctor Strange. It's still unclear who will become the Supreme Mage in the future. Ancient One nodded when he saw Wang Kai's excited look. Okay, I will suppress the demon seal in Luna's body now. The Supreme Mage draws a circle with his hands. Suddenly a shield with golden sparks appeared in front of him. There are extremely mysterious runes on it. Wang Kai couldn't understand any of them. I saw Ancient One's arms turning. The shield suddenly copied one side again. Move forward a certain distance and then rotate and copy again. The four corners are connected, and the edges of the golden square appear. Then spin again. A cube composed of a golden rune shield appeared. Ancient One pushed the golden cube with both hands and flew straight into Luna's body. The latter was still trembling and did not dare to look. Bang! The golden cube flew into Luna's body. Then suddenly expanded. Took up the whole room. Wang Kai felt as if he heard the beast's choking scream. Then I saw a black shadow on Luna. Then the golden cube suddenly shrank. He actually locked the black shadow in. Like locking a wild beast in an iron cage. Suddenly no more cries were heard. The golden cube rotates in the air. Although he got into Luna's body with a swish, the latter's eyes immediately became blurred. No longer as crazy as before. It's done. I put the beast in a cage. You can try to wake her up now. Ancient One smiled and said. There was no sign of fatigue at all. Wang Kai immediately stepped forward and touched Luna's cheek. Called softly. Luna, wake up. Called several times. But Luna's eyes were still dull and motionless, as if she was in a vegetative state. Wang Kai immediately looked anxiously at Ancient One. Mage Ancient One, my sister doesn't seem to be responding. Ancient One smiled and said not to panic. She has experienced death and been suppressed by the will of the beast for too long. Now she needs you to awaken her sleeping will. What to do? Say something that impressed her most. What's the most impressive thing? Countless words appeared in Wang Kai's mind instantly. A second later, he immediately shouted to Luna. Luna, let's go eat spicy rabbit heads. Maybe we can find your Dubai. The voice is in one place. Luna seemed to remember some very bad memory. His body trembled and he shouted in fear, Ah! Why does the smelly brother say this? Luna, Wang Kai shouted in surprise. Luna's confused eyes finally returned to Qingming. Turning to look at Wang Kai, he softly uttered two words. But it made Wang Kai happy like the sound of nature. Elder brother. Wang Kai immediately stepped forward excitedly and took him into his arms. After spending so much time, killed so many people, finally found my sister, brother, parents, they. Luna remembered many things in an instant. Car accidents, shootings, kidnappings, suicides. My eyes were soon filled with mist. Tears flowed down uncontrollably. He buried his head in Wang Kai's arms and cried loudly. Cry, cry, let these bad emotions vent out. Wang Kai consoled him. Gently stroke Luna's long hair. Then he continued. Don't worry, I will definitely resurrect my parents. Wipe away Luna's tears. Wang Kai turned to look at Ancient One. The Supreme Mage shook his head calmly. The words he said also shocked Wang Kai's heart. Your parents have been dead for too long and their souls have dissipated. If you want to resurrect them, the time stone alone is no longer enough. You must gather 6 infinity stones. Power, time, space, soul, reality and mind. Each of the 6 infinity stones can give the user omnipotent control in some aspect. And when the 6 are gathered together, in addition to making a stone that cannot be lifted by oneself, can do absolutely anything. Nothing is impossible. Just like a wish-making artifact, resurrecting 2 ordinary people is no problem. The time gem and the space gem are both on Earth. The power stone is on a deserted planet. Later, he was taken away by Star-Lord. But Wang Kai couldn't remember which planet that thing was on. The Mind Stone is in the hands of Thanos. You have to wait until Thor 2 is open to get the Reality Stone. The Soul Gem can be difficult to obtain. It is absolutely impossible for him to sacrifice the people he loves. While Wang Kai was thinking, the Ancient One pointed the way directly. Actually, you don't have to grab it yourself, you can just borrow it. Like an enlightenment, Wang Kai suddenly woke up. Yes, the Avengers all know how to use a time machine to borrow gems from other parallel universes, why can't he? As for the more imaginative idea of taking over parents from another universe, this doesn't work. After all, another world also has itself, so this would be too heartless. Besides, the gems can be returned, but people will still grow old. Thank you, Master Supreme, for the tip. Wang Kai expressed his thanks to Ancient One. Then he immediately said to his confused sister, Luna, although my parents are gone, we can resurrect them. Real. Luna's watery eyes suddenly widened. Wang Kai showed a smile as bright as the wind in Chu Chu Feng. Of course, don't you think you are fine now? As long as we work hard to become stronger, we will definitely be able to resurrect our parents. Look, this is the teacher I found for you, the Ancient One Mage. She is the most powerful magician on Earth. With her professor you can become stronger. More powerful than my brother. Wang Kai pointed to Ancient One. But Luna was a little hesitant after hearing this. He lowered his voice and said, Then if I study with this magician, I have to leave you again. I don't want to be separated from you. You are the only family I have. Luna hugged Wang Kai tightly and was very reluctant to let go. Wang Kai was a little helpless. Be good, brother, it's not like I only see you once every few months. Don't worry, I will go see you as soon as I'm free. Although Wang Kai said this, but tears still welled up in Luna's eyes. Every time she would use this trick to make Wang Kai agree to do anything for her. Wang Kai was also embarrassed when he saw this. You can't go back on your promise to Ancient One. At this time, the Ancient One looked at Luna who was in tears and spoke. Actually, with her qualifications, it's enough to come to Karmatage for 2 hours every day. She doesn't have to live there all the time. So I can continue to live with you. As soon as this sentence came out, Luna's tears instantly retracted. Full of surprise, he knelt down and saluted Ancient One. Master, please bow to me as a disciple. Wang Kai. He has watched too many costume dramas. By the way, is this how Karmatage became his apprentice? Ancient One is not restrained about this. There is no apprenticeship process at all. Get up, kid. Magicians don't pay attention to formalities. Just treat me as a teacher in your heart. Informal, can I call you teacher, sister? Ancient One suddenly showed an inexplicable smile. It's totally fine in private. The two started chatting immediately. He left Wang Kai aside and, it feels like I have become like my best friend in just a few minutes. Sure enough, women care about their age, even if the Ancient One Mage is over 1,000 years old. Wang Kai complained silently in his heart. But this is because Luna is smart enough to talk. The Ancient One was very amused. You have such a sweet mouth. Since you have become a disciple according to Eastern rituals, I will also give you a gift according to Eastern rules. As he spoke, Ancient One waved in the air a few times like magic. Dots of golden light are flying in the air. Then suddenly it condensed and exploded. A small round bead like a transparent crystal slowly fell into Ancient One's hand. According to the Eastern name, these are called dust-proof beads. They can isolate dust and haze, which are harmful to the skin. Luna immediately accepted it with joy. Wang Kai's eyelids jumped when he saw it. The Baiken pearl is really an image. Sister, when will you teach me magic? Luna narrowed her eyes and asked. Since there is no need to separate from my brother, then naturally we must quickly learn to become stronger. This way it cannot become a burden. You can do it now, come with me. The Ancient One spins with one hand to create a portal. It's still bright on the other side. It is the square where Kamal Taj practices her magic. The three of them passed through the portal. Wang Kai looked at it with envy. This portal is much easier to use than his teleportation. Not only comparable to any door, and it can also be used as a weapon. If Karmataj's mage had been smarter, he wouldn't have been beaten by Thanos until Iron Man snapped his fingers. Open a portal directly on your neck, or let the gauntlet-less Thanos plummet until he falls to pieces. This saves a lot of trouble. This is Karmataj, the place where you will come to learn magic every day from now on. Ancient One briefly introduced the history of Karmataj. Then he started to get serious. Magic is actually about absorbing energy from other dimensions to build our weapons and cast spells. And this requires a talent that can communicate with other dimensions. This kind of talent is very rare, and you happen to have it. Now I will teach you the Ring of Ragador, please listen to these tips. Ancient One said a few words. Then he raised his palms one behind the other to form two yellow rings. Wang Kai complained in his heart when he saw it. It's really both fancy and very middle of the road. Just call it Magic Shield. Ancient One demonstrated the Magic Shield. And again tell the key points of using magic. Then he handed Luna a hanging ring. This is the standard configuration of Karmataj Master. It feels like a receiving antenna to Wang Kai. It allows mages to better absorb the power of other dimensions. Let's try it, Luna. With your talent, you should be able to learn it in 2 hours. Ancient One showed an encouraging smile. She liked Luna very much. Good teacher. Luna nodded and put on the hanging ring. Push your hands forward. 2 magic shields appeared in an instant, twice as large as when Ancient One cast it. Careful. When Ancient One saw this, he was surprised and quickly reminded. The edge of the magic shield is extremely sharp. You can attack, retreat or defend when you are close. Therefore, it is the most widely spread magic of Karmataj. Generally, the file size of this magic is fixed, only the basin file size. But I don't know why. The magic shield Luna cast for the first time actually had more than twice the range. As a result, the extremely sharp edge instantly came into contact with Luna's wrist. Bang! At the critical moment, Wang Kai was still faster. Immediately use Whisper of Wind to release a shield to Luna to protect her safety. At the same time, activate Sprint, Rage, Immortal Demon Body, and Wind Spirit Emblem. Under the quadruple acceleration, it was almost like the words of Ancient One just came out. The translucent shield shattered, and Wang Kai had turned into a golden light and instantly grabbed Luna's wrist. She held her arms out wide to avoid being hurt by the sharp edges of the magic shield. Luna was startled by Wang Kai. The magic shield did not last for a few flashes and then disappeared. But then when he looked at the solemn angel's magic armored eyes, twinkling little stars suddenly appeared. Only 3 words popped into my mind. So hot. Brother, is that you? Who else but me? The armor turns into light particles and blends into the body. Wang Kai showed a very concerned face. How about it, you're not injured? Luna shook her head and walked around Wang Kai's body with a puzzled look on her face. Where's your armor? Why is it missing? Wang Kai smiled slightly and touched Luna's hair. This is the power awakened by my brother. Thanks to him, I was able to find you. Take a step back and activate the immortal demon body again. Wang Kai pointed to his white gold-rimmed angel armor. This is called the Dawn Guardian, and it only exists to protect you. Luna's face turned red after hearing this. With a peach-like face and a smile, she said, Huh. I don't want you to protect me. One day I will be the one to protect you. Ha ha ha, no problem, I'm waiting for this day. Wang Kai is all smiles. It seems like I haven't felt this happy feeling for a long, long time. As for showing his immortal demonic body in front of the Ancient One, Wang Kai did not shy away from it at all. After all, Ancient One even knows Pengu mode. I have watched his battles countless times. Probably I don't know except for the system. Wang Kai knows other things better than himself. Cancel the magic armor again. Wang Kai turned to look at Ancient One. Found the Sorcerer Supreme staring at Luna. He showed a complicated smile. Mage Ancient One, is there anything wrong with what Luna did just now? Wang Kai asked nervously. Ancient One let out a long sigh. Not only is there no problem, on the contrary, the situation is extremely good. If I had Luna's talent, it would be the turn of Dark Lord Dorum and Mephisto to be arrogant. I have treated them as sons and beaten them up long ago. Does this smell like jealousy? Wang Kai was shocked that Luna's talent was so high. Doesn't that mean that the position of the Supreme Mage is already secure? No, it's all taught well by the teacher. Luna is very humble. Ancient One was very satisfied when he saw this. The power you have drawn is too majestic to be able to control it freely. You need to practice more in this aspect in the future. After finishing speaking, Ancient One threw one hand forward. Suddenly there was a clicking sound in front of me. A shattered glass wall appeared in the eyes of the three of them. This is the mirror dimension. Ancient One explained. Whatever happens inside has nothing to do with the outside. To practice those powerful magics, you need to enter them. The three of them walked in through the opening of the mirror dimension. This is also a square for practicing magic. Ancient One then began to teach more magic. Luna did exactly what she said. The talent is frighteningly high. It almost always happens once. All that is missing is perfect mastery. The shape of Archon. The Marvel version has multiple duplications. Each duplication has the power of its own body and can release magic. When Luna entered the square, the whole square was packed with people, comparable to a spring festival train station. Not to mention fights, duplication was almost suffocating itself to death. Shield of Seraphim. The strongest defensive magic used with both hands forms a huge golden shield. In Avengers 4, Master Taj used this move to withstand Thanos' Temple II's artillery salvo. Luna is still the same, but it has become larger, and its protection range is almost as large as a standard basketball court. And compared to the small magic shield, this large magic shield has no sharp edges. So you don't have to worry about cutting all around with a click. The ancient body of Hogs. An energy absorbing then dissipates it into other forms of magic. Doctor Strange used this spell to neutralize Thanos' black hole attack, and then turned into a butterfly. It's restrictive and too dangerous, so I'm just learning it but not using it for the time being. Bossat's Thunder. One of the most powerful magics, it releases arm-thick golden red lightning to jump on the ground and attack. The disadvantage is that the attack speed is too slow. Luna cannot control the direction of attack after using it. As a result, he hit Wang Kai directly. With a bang, he was blown up to the sky. Magic Whip. The length of the golden magic whip can be controlled freely. The effect of using it alone is average, but when combined with the shape of Icon, it can achieve the appearance of countless whips trapping Thanos in Avengers 3. I didn't see any big difference in appearance after using Luna. The Wind of Wadham. Marvel version of Wind Escape. Releases a powerful stream of air that blows back enemies in front of you. Not very lethal, just an auxiliary function. Luna uses it to amplify the power of the wind and can knock people over. Cyttorak's Crimson Chain. An enhanced version of the magic whip that uses a long rope like a red ribbon to trap enemies. It is very powerful and can also be used for strangulation. Luna uses more toughness. Even if Wang Kai activates his immortal demonic body, he still can't cut it off. And the strangulation force is estimated to be around several tons. The Sword of Vishanti. If there is a magic shield, there will naturally be a magic sword. Luna turned into a machete after using it. The momentum is enough. It feels weird for a 16-year-old girl to hold a body-length sword. Wang Kai also doesn't want Luna to go astray as a melee mage. Finally, teach Luna the portal and mirror dimension. Ancient One felt that his merits were complete. Learn all the commonly used magic in 2 hours. Luna is no longer a genius, but a monster. Chapter 31. These general combat and auxiliary magics have been taught to you. I will teach you about astral projection, energy projection, and how to transform magical energy later so that we can stay young forever and extend our lifespan. Luna looked ecstatic after hearing this. A good sister to Ancient One. Wang Kai even had goosebumps when he shouted. But what's more important than eternal youth? Luna did not hesitate to praise her. He boasted to the Supreme Mage to great effect. The Ancient One is even more useful. Everyone likes rainbow farts. What's more, it was said by a beautiful and sensible female apprentice. Wang Kai is very satisfied that Ancient One can teach other magic. Ancient One is the Supreme Mage. Lived for thousands of years. The skills must be ridiculous. The film was forced to go offline due to lack of funding. She can convert magical energy into a variety of super abilities such as invisibility, flight, hypnotic ability, protective shield, alchemy, telekinesis, teleportation, and cross-space teleportation. What is shown now is just the tip of the iceberg. Let's stop here today. I will take you to meet your senior brothers. Ancient One smiled and stretched out his hand. Luna immediately took hold of him. The two of them are so good together. In fact, they had only known each other for 2 hours. The three of them came to another square. It's not like the place where I was just now was empty. Many apprentices wearing white or black robes stood in a square formation. He is practicing magic with neat movements, although in Wang Kai's eyes, it's more like they're practicing gymnastics. Supreme Mage. The leader, a black-faced boy, trotted over immediately. Salute respectfully to the Ancient One. This man is none other than Modu, the chief disciple of the Ancient One. At the end of the Doctor Strange movie, Blacken had a reflex reaction due to the collapse of his faith in his heart. I think it would be better if there were fewer mages in this world. So he ran to turn Pangborn, who was walking with magic, into a hemiplegic man again. Start your own path as a villain. As for now, still just a little fan of Ancient One. Modu, let me introduce to you. This is my new apprentice, your little junior sister. Ancient One smiled and introduced. Modu was shocked all of a sudden. He has been studying magic at Karmatage for more than 10 years. I have never seen such a heartfelt smile from Ancient One. Hello, senior brother, I am Luna. Luna bowed respectfully to Modu. Only then did the latter react and hurriedly returned the gift. Oh hello, I'm Modu. If you need anything, you can come to me. Modu's look made Luna burst into laughter. Upon seeing this, Ancient One smiled and shook his head and continued the introduction. This is Luna's brother Kai, he is very powerful. Kamar Taja's forever friend. After hearing this, Modu's face condensed and he saluted again. Wang Kai just nodded in response and said hello. As a seed player for future villains, it's best not to overcook it. Otherwise it will affect the speed of his sword swing. Let's go, I'll take you to the library again, where all the books I collected are stored. Ancient One continued to move forward with Luna. Morden was confused for a moment. He glanced at Wang Kai and asked, Kai, does the change of the Ancient One mage have something to do with your sister? Wang Kai glanced at it and said, otherwise, I guess this makes the Supreme Mage feel like a mother, no, a best friend. Follow me immediately. Wang Kai remembered that the librarian was brutally murdered by the villain Cassius. In addition, Cassius also stole a few pages of the book on time research on summoning Demomu. Maybe a supplement can be mixed in. Go into the library. At first glance, I saw the serious face of my family. Librarian King. Another familiar introduction to each other. But Wang Kai did not hear the system prompt sound. It seems that this place is still not good enough. However, maybe there is another place that is good enough. In other words, one thing stored there has a great reputation. Eye of Agamotto, where the time stone is stored. While Wang Kai was thinking, Ancient One said to Wang, from today on, Luna has the right to borrow all books in the library, including my private collection, the Book of Emperor Weishan. The king didn't say anything after hearing this. Whatever the Supreme Mage says is fine. But Modu suddenly felt a sense of imbalance in his heart. Even his senior brother, he, could not borrow the Book of Emperor Weishan. And he has been following Ancient One for more than 10 years. Now he is actually surpassed by a newly adopted little girl. This was very difficult for him to accept. So Modu boldly asked, is this appropriate? After all, Junior sister has just started, so she can't even understand those books. Kamal Taj's books were all collected by Ancient One during his long life. Therefore, what is written above is not in English or Chinese. They are all obscure and difficult to understand small languages. It doesn't matter, I can ask Stark to make a translation device so that I can understand it. Wang Kai said immediately without waiting for Luna to answer. Modu suddenly opened his mouth. Having money and technology is amazing. It took him 2 years too. I read most of the books only after turning through the dictionary. Now it's actually like this. It's so bullying. Ancient One showed an inexplicable smile. He looked at Modu and asked, then what do you want to do? Modu felt guilty when he was stared at by Ancient One. He said intermittently, at least wait until she finishes learning the basic spells. Wang Kai suddenly laughed out loud. Basic spells? Sorry, my sister just finished learning them 10 minutes ago. By the way, it only took her 2 hours. At this time, even Lao Wang, who seemed to be facially paralyzed, opened his mouth in surprise. Modu was even more stunned. How is this possible? Nothing is impossible in the face of genius, don't you believe it? Give it a try. Wang Kai smiled provocatively. Luna was a little embarrassed. He immediately stepped forward and whispered in Wang Kai's ear, this is not good, I just learned it. Wang Kai immediately gave his sister a reassuring look. He also said quietly, don't worry. I have my brother to help you from the sidelines. You can defeat him without magic. Kai Daddy with 5 auxiliary equipment. Just asking you if you are afraid. Facing Wang Kai's suggestion, Modu's face instantly turned ugly. Compete with a 16-year-old girl. It doesn't look good whether you win or lose. Modu, what do you mean? Ancient One asked with a smile. I agree. Modu agreed as soon as his mind became hot. As a result, I regretted it the next second. Then wait until it is finished. I regret it even more. In the square, the apprentices stood on the outside. Luna and Mordo stood in the middle. Friendly discussions come and go quickly. Wang Kai has all 5 auxiliary equipment locked onto Luna. The latter immediately felt his body relaxed a lot. Even the reaction speed is faster. Directly throw out the long red silk-like rope. Cyterax's crimson chain was like a long snake that rolled up Mordo in the blink of an eye. And at this time, Ancient One's beginning sound has just ended. The atmosphere was a little awkward for a while. Modu was trapped in the red silk cloth and became a dumpling. Huge amounts of force caused the veins in my head to burst out in an instant. The eyes are also bloodshot. I can't breathe. The originally black face turned brown after being congested. Just like an old jujube. Ancient One smiled and shook his head when he saw this. Of course she knew that Wang Kai was suspected of cheating. But there is no difference in the results. It's the same thing to kill your opponent instantly and to make your opponent jump twice and then kill him again. Okay Luna, let go of your senior brother. Well-behaved and lovable Luna immediately obeyed. Cyterax's crimson chains disappeared. Modu's feet went weak and he almost knelt down to Luna. I could only hold my knees with my hands and gasp for air. Sweat burst out from all over the body uncontrollably. If you lie down, you will look like a black fish that has landed. As for now, it's just a standing black salted fish. The apprentices around were all dumbfounded. My breathing stopped for a moment. They are around older than Luna, but still not as good as senior brother Modu. And now a newly recruited junior sister has left senior brother unable to fight back. Maybe this is genius. Luna NB. So handsome that you can take off. It's amazing. Everyone cheered for Luna. Luna was very embarrassed. He said shyly, this is all allowed to me by my senior brother. The cheers of the crowd suddenly became louder. Luna, who is modest, beautiful, powerful and cute, instantly gained a large number of fans. Become a beautiful scenery in the serious and stereotyped Kamatage. From now on, as long as Luna comes to Kamatage, the atmosphere here will become lively. People would smile and ask, Junior sister learned a few more spells today. Luna always says a few words of modesty. Come to the library counter. Arrange 9 masterpieces on soul science. Here are a dozen advanced magic books and get a copy of Weixin Emperor's book. And when others ask why she is so powerful, Luna always said with a smile, it's all my senior brother who allowed me to do it. Second senior brother allowed me to do it all. It's all third senior brother who gave way to me. It made everyone laugh. There is a cheerful atmosphere inside and outside Karma-Taj. Okay Modu, you go down and rest first. Ancient One gave his eldest disciple a step down. The latter immediately left in shame. I regret that I, who has always been calm, could make such a stupid mistake in front of the teacher. Luna was taken by Ancient One to continue visiting Karma-Taj. The three of them went around in a circle. But I still haven't reached the room where the Eye of Agamotto is placed. In desperation, Wang Kai had to cough twice and said, Mage Ancient One, I want to see the Eye of Agamotto, is that okay? Brother, what are your eyes? Luna asked doubtfully. Upon seeing this, Ancient One explained to Luna. Luna's eyes lit up when she heard this. But once I heard that it couldn't be used to resurrect my parents, I became bleak. The three of them soon arrived at a room. There are 3 doors in 3 directions here, leading to the New York Temple, Hong Kong Temple, and London Temple respectively. This is a solidified portal, and you can switch destinations based on coordinates. Very convenient. The one placed in the middle is Eye of Agamotto. Ding, it is detected that the host is in the hidden sign in location where the time gem is stored, and the sign-in is started. The countdown to check-in is 29 minutes and 59 seconds. The system sound that I hadn't seen for a long time resounded in my mind again. Wang Kai was momentarily confused. It was actually a 30-minute check-in. That's 30 consecutive draws. The time stone is so valuable. From this point of view, even for the check-in point, you have to find other infinite stones. Thinking of this, Wang Kai would have to delay. Ahem, Ancient One Mage, is it really okay to leave the Eye of Agamotto here like this? The fanatic followers of Cassius can open a portal in their own homes and take it away. This is also where Wang Kai is confused. In fact, from the fact that Dr. Strange can open a portal in the library, we know that Karma-Taj does not have a forbidden magic realm. In other words, as long as you reach out and take away the Book of Time, you can take it away from anywhere in the world. Even the Eye of Agamotto. There is no need to come in and grab it. It's strange that Cassius still hasn't lost his mind after living in Kamal-Taj for so long. Ancient One smiled calmly after hearing this, pointing to the Eye of Agamotto. It itself is the most powerful protection, and evil people cannot pick it up. Burned like ebony throat, Wang Kai suddenly thought. But then asked again, then what if I use gloves? Or use pliers? Or put it in a box and take it away? Quote. Taking arrogance is not a good moral character for a child. Ancient One did not explain. Wang Kai also guessed that it was 80% possible. Put the time gem here like a toy. I don't know if Ancient One is too big-hearted or has read the script. I know no one will steal it. We chatted for a long time. Wang Kai asked about various strange events in history. Lu Shu, son of what plane, summoned meteorites. The unknown apocalyptic explosion. The strange Tunguska explosion. The mysterious Roswell incident and more. In short, it is delaying time. Seeing Luna looking very interested. Ancient One did not expose Wang Kai's purpose. Everything was explained like a story. Half an hour later. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully signing in at the hidden sign in location where the time gem is stored. Get 3,000 check-in points. The system prompt has just ended. The story of Ancient One has also been told. Luna listened with great interest. I didn't expect that the history of the Earth would be so exciting. Those strange unsolved mysteries, most of them are the aftermath of invasions from other dimensions. And the Ancient One has fought fierce battles with those alien evil gods. Kick them back to their hometown. Okay, there should be enough time. You brothers and sisters will go home first and come back here tomorrow. Ancient One said goodbye to Luna with a smile. This is the end of the half-day trip to Karma-Taj. The two returned to New York, and Wang Kai's life can be on the right track again. Sign in and draw to kill the villain. Ever since I killed hatred. Because of looking for my sister. He ignored the next marked check-in task. Now it's finally time to see where we've progressed. The Land of Green Goblin vs. Spider-Man. I turned on my computer and looked at the news for a few times and realized that it was still the plot of the old version of Spider-Man 1. Norman Osborn originally wore a green flight suit and stepped on a demon glider. Just like a big green fly. He blew up a member of the board of directors in public in the square and ended up fighting Spider-Man, who tried to stop him. The world is now searching for Marvel's poorest and most loser superhero. What is Brother Kai looking at? Luna got next to Wong Kai and asked. It's not easy to save your parents. It requires money and materials. This bad guy just happens to have money. While the two were talking, suddenly a piece of news came on the computer. The title is, Live Broadcast. The Green Goblin takes many hostages and fights Spider-Man. It's better to come by chance than to come by chance. Wong Kai smiled slightly. Point to the location in the live broadcast screen. You've seen a good show, do you want to go and see it? Luna nodded excitedly. Immediately start drawing circles to use the portal. On the New York Bridge, the Green Goblin held onto the screaming Mary Jane with one hand and a cable with the other hand, the end of which was connected to a children's amusement ride. There are all innocent children inside. Help, save us. Save us, Spider-Man. The child's cry for help and Mary's scream were transmitted to Spider-Man's mind at the same time. Then came the Green Goblin's evil laughter. Ha ha ha, Spider-Man. That's why only fools become heroes. Because you always have this trolley problem. Be a lover or an innocent person, choose. The Green Goblin released his hands, and Mary and the child fell from a bridge dozens of meters high at the same time. And the old version of Spider-Man is obviously an adult just by looking at his face. So he chose to have them all. The wind beneath my feet is like an arrow flying towards Mary. Then he jumped. Spin the silk upwards with your left hand and catch Mary with your right hand. Hold on to me. Spider-Man swung his body and freed his right hand to grab the cable sliding downwards. The falling cable car was immediately pulled into the air. The onlookers immediately burst into cheers. Awesome, Spider-Man. However, this cheer did not help the grim situation at all. The Green Goblin flew off the bridge in a glider. Watching the tough Spider-Man laugh wildly. Ga ga ga, you made the worst choice, which is to pay for it yourself. A pumpkin bomb pops out of the front of the demon glider. Makes a beeping countdown sound. Goodbye, Spider-Man. The Green Goblin flicked his arm and threw the pumpkin bomb. Seeing that Spider-Man and Mary Jane were about to be blown up, a big hand suddenly appeared in front of the two of them. Then with a flick of his finger, the pumpkin bomb was instantly blown away. Then it exploded dozens of meters away. Boom! Red flames lit up in the night sky. After the explosion, people cheered enthusiastically. Awesome, King Kong. Wong Kai drove Metal Storm to save Spider-Man. But when he heard the cheers of the people eating melons around him, his face darkened. What a bad name. Why don't you call yourself King Kong? Iron Man, Spider-Man, Captain America. A wave of his hand frightened the Green Goblin back dozens of meters like a fly. Wong Kai pinched the cable with 2 fingers. Then put the other hand flat, signaling Mary Jane to come up. I'll save you. The other fly is your opponent, Spider-Man, go and deal with him. Marvel's number 1 green tea. Mary Jane's eyes widened when she saw the tall, mighty and cool Metal Storm. Spider-Man crawled over him without saying thank you. Wong Kai felt upset when he saw it. Spider-Man 1 oscillates between Peter, Harry, and the unknown Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 found a rich fiancé, but ran away from marriage because he thought he liked Peter. At the beginning of Spider-Man 3, I had a quarrel with Peter, but later I had to make good friends with Harry for a while because of my livelihood. I never thought it was a big problem before. Looking at it now just makes me feel sick. Take the cable car and fly to the river with Mary Jane. Mary said tremblingly. Thank you for saving me, how should I thank you? Wong Kai glanced down and said. Just be a human being. Mary, Spider-Man here. After being entangled with the Green Goblin, he came to a park castle that was abandoned due to fire. The two of them fought extremely fiercely with their fists and kicks. Although the Green Goblin is not as powerful as Spider-Man, but relying on equipment blessing can be slightly better. Try this, quack quack. 3 extremely sharp flying knives spun rapidly towards Spider-Man. In the blink of an eye, he was in front of me. However, Newton easily dodged it by leaning back and making him cry. But then the Green Goblin threw the pumpkin bomb again. This time there was no way to escape. Boom! The pumpkin bomb exploded almost before your eyes. The strong shock wave was like a train hitting the face. Plus the blazing fire light. Spider-Man lost his appearance instantly, falling backward quickly. A loud bang hit the old brick wall. Lying on the ground, he opened his mouth and spat out a large mouthful of blood. It was obvious that he had suffered serious internal injuries. When the Green Goblin saw this, he laughed even more crazily. Step forward and trample Spider-Man under his feet. Then he took out a green trident and put it on Spider-Man's head. I originally wanted Mary to die more comfortably, but now I decided to let her die more comfortably. Gaga. The villain dies because he talks too much. When Spider-Man heard that the goddess in his heart was being threatened, it's like a small universe exploding. He grabbed the Green Goblin's ankle with one hand and gave it a fierce swing. Use all 20 tons of powerful force without any scruples. The Green Goblin flew out like a cannonball and instantly hit 3 walls before stopping. And the green uniform all over his body was seriously damaged. Not to mention showing a little spark. I don't know how many bones in my body were broken. Spiders eat flies, that's a killer. Wong Kai and Luna stood on the top of the park castle. Looking at the wonderful battle below, I feel something in my heart. I don't know if it was intentional. In the comics, the Green Goblin transforms like Professor Lizard. Become a low-end, weakened version of Hulk. Why does he look like a fly in the movie? At this time, the battle below is almost over. The Green Goblin was exploded into the small universe by Spider-Man's hammer. I can only kneel down and beg for mercy. Peter, stop, it's me. Take off the mask to reveal Norman's miserable face. Spider-Man was immediately stunned. Isn't this his good friend Harry's dad? The Green Goblin begs Peter for forgiveness. He tried his best to explain that he was influenced by an evil personality. In fact, it is just acting. The demon glider quietly rose from behind Spider-Man, revealing the sharp spear in front. The Green Goblin's face suddenly changed and he laughed wildly. Goodbye, Spider-Man. The spider sense activated in an instant. Peter jumped on the spot and did a backflip. Easily dodged the demon glider. Phew, the spear penetrated the green uniform. The Green Goblin was nailed directly to the wall. Blood dripped down the walls. In just a few seconds, the person is dying. Ding, congratulations to the host for signing in at the place where Green Goblin vs. Spider-Man. The sign-in time exceeded 3 minutes and the sign-in task was successfully completed. Ding, the reward is 300 check-in points. Ding, the next check-in location is Dr. Otto's laboratory, the birthplace of Dr. Octopus. If you stay for more than 3 minutes, you will be deemed to have signed in successfully. The sign-in task is completed. Wong Kai hugged Princess Luna. Jumped directly from the roof. With a dull thud, he landed like a superhero. Although my knees are sore. But he still strode forward and pulled out the demon glider nailed to the wall. Then he pinched Norman's breathy mouth and drank all the 2 small medicine bottles. Who are you? Spider-Man hurriedly covered his face. Shoot webbing to pull yourself into the shadows. He didn't want to be seen. The person who saved you just now is the person who saves him now. That's right, Brother Kai saved you and you are still so unreasonable. You really don't know a good heart. Luna pouted and looked at Spider-Man. I felt a little angry. She hates spiders, scorpions, and centipedes the most. Facing the current shabby situation. And Peter, who is hiding in the dark, naturally doesn't have much favorable impressions either. Even though he saved many children. After hearing what the two said, Spider-Man let down his guard. Thank you for saving me. That golden mecha is so handsome. I would like to take some close-ups of it if possible. Poor Spider-Man is so poor that he has to sell his pants. I usually make money part-time by taking photos for newspapers. So far, all media have not had a clear photo of the metal storm. The boss of the Daily Bugle offered a reward of 1,000 United States dollars. That's a lot of money for Spider-Man. Next time, definitely next time. Wong Kai said without looking back. Complete the 2 bottles of medicine. Norman finally came back to life. Just very weak. The moment he saw Wong Kai, he knew that this evil star had saved him. I really don't know if it's good or bad. Why do you want to save me? Norman asked weakly. Of course I want to ask you to borrow some money. From now on, your money is my money, and my money is your money. How about it? Wong Kai showed a meaningful smile. Norman had no choice but to agree with a wry smile. Watching Spider-Man is dumbfounded. This Is this money so easy to earn? But it seems like he's taking advantage of someone else's situation. Go and take Mr. Norman back home. He is tired and needs to rest. People can always see themselves clearly when they are dying. Hope Norman experiences such an event, able to overcome the Green Goblin personality. Aren't you going to send him to the police station? He has killed many people. Spider-Man whispered. I feel quite a bit lacking in confidence. What does the person Green Goblin killed have to do with Norman Osborn? Spider-Man, don't make a mistake. Wong Kai smiled coldly. Even if I send it in, it's just another occasion to say this. The American legal team is ruthless. Luna nodded repeatedly like a chicken pecking at rice. Brother Kai is right. Spider-Man was speechless. I could only watch helplessly as the Metal Storm appeared out of thin air. Luna sat on Metal Storm's shoulders. The two flew towards the dark night sky. Oh, come on, Mr. Osborn, I'll take you home. What follows is almost exactly the same as the plot of the movie. Harry saw his father who was seriously injured and very weak. And Spider-Man who sent him up. The relationship between the two of them is still like this. Wong Kai's sighed. After using Metal Storm to leave the park castle, let Luna open the portal at her feet. Cancel the Metal Storm and two people fall at the same time. After passing through the portal, you fell into the bedroom at home. There was no words for the rest of the night. Wong Kai and Luna both slept very soundly. The next day, Wong Kai got up and made breakfast for Luna. Then he started to inquire about the extent of Dr. Octopus's research. A scientific feat like artificial sun will definitely make some news. He needs to confirm the time before leaving to sign in. Beep. The doorbell rang suddenly. Wong Kai was very strange. Who came to look for him early in the morning? Open the door. The result was two very familiar figures. The ghost girl in white and gray armor and her black adoptive father Goliath. You actually rang the doorbell. When did you know I was back? Wong Kai asked coldly. The ghost girl can penetrate walls. God knows if she has a hobby of voyeurism. Just now, I didn't go in rashly. The ghost girl waved her hands and explained hurriedly. She didn't come here just to fight. Wong Kai's magic potion works surprisingly well. One bottle has prevented her from entering the void until now. But she could feel it fading away. In 2 days at most, she would be back to the pain that kept tearing every cell. Therefore, the ghost woman who longed for a normal life naturally could not give up the opportunity to cure her. After returning to New York, I knocked on the door 3 days in a row. Finally she saw Wong Kai again. Kai, we are here to apologize specifically. We are very sorry for what happened that day. Goliath's words awakened the dreamer. The ghost girl hurriedly bowed to Wong Kai. I'm sorry, it's all my fault, I shouldn't have attacked you. Wong Kai shook his head and didn't take it to heart. Luna has been found. His acting style is not as sharp as before. At this time, suddenly Luna's voice came from the bedroom. Brother Kai, who is he? The ghost girl and Goliath were stunned for a moment. Elder brother, you have found your sister. Congratulations. The two of them smiled awkwardly and crossed their hands. By this time Luna had come to the living room. Seeing this, Wong Kai had no choice but to open the door and let them in. Colleagues from my former workplace. Come in. Close the door and put tea fruits on it. Luna is quite interested in Wong Kai's former workplace. Especially the ghost girl. She was completely wrapped in a white and gray uniform. Adds a lot of mysterious flavor. Luna was very enthusiastic about the two asking questions. Did S.H.I.E.L.D. send you here? Wong Kai asked. He only fired S.H.I.E.L.D. unilaterally. It's normal for S.H.I.E.L.D. to send people to check the bottom. No, we have something to ask for. The ghost girl took off her mask and said. He told me everything that happened to him and the changes in his body after taking the vial. I want to know how to make that medicine, maybe it can cure my disease. The ghost girl looked at Wong Kai with hope. After hearing this, Luna also sympathized with the ghost girl's plight. Brother Kai, since you can help this sister, then try to help her. Luna whispered. Wong Kai sighed in his heart. For the sake of character design, I had to take out 3 small medicine bottles from my space backpack. Throw it directly to the ghost girl. I don't know how, but I know how to cure you. Real, the 3 people on the sofa shouted in surprise at the same time. Of course, your current situation is the entangled state caused by quantum shock. As long as enough quantum energy is collected, you can be cured. It just so happens that he wants to make a time machine. Although the money was settled. But there is still a shortage of manpower. Since the current second-generation Ant-Man is still working normally. Therefore, no one has entered the field twice again. Wang Kai wants to bring all relevant people together. Start a dream project. Only in this way can we create a time machine as quickly as possible. Tony, Dr. Pym, Hope, plus Goliath and Ghost Girl, 5 people should be enough. Wang Kai remembers that Tony alone created the data model in Avengers 4. There is help from others. There shouldn't be much of a problem. As long as you build a quantum channel machine and extract the energy inside, you can be cured. In addition, quantum channels also have a function, which is that they can travel through time and space. At that time, we can go to another parallel universe and pick you and your parents up before the explosion. Then you can live together completely normally. After Wang Kai finished speaking, the Ghost Girl and Goliath looked confused. Only Luna believed it. Is this possible? Goliath black question mark face. He had once thought about using quantum field energy to treat ghost girls, but he had never been able to get started. As a result, Wang Kai opened the door directly. He even told him clearly how many beauties and tons of gold were standing behind him. It makes Goliath feel like he is listening to nonsense. Of course it's possible, because that's what I plan to do. I'm not kidding about resurrecting my parents. Wang Kai looked serious, not joking at all. The Ghost Girl was immediately convinced. A man who dares to kill a New York gangster for his sister. And drag the 3 major families in the United States into trouble. Don't lie to her with all your lies. How about you? Do you want to join me in my plan to create a quantum channel? I call it a dream come true. Okay, I'll be the first to join. Luna directly raised her hands. The Ghost Girl held the small medicine bottle and raised her hand. Goliath saw his daughter and joined. Naturally, the same will follow. So the initial 4 people of the dream plan were decided. Very good. From today on, we are all trying to fulfill our own dreams, but we are also people striving for the same goal. Goliath nodded. Tomorrow I will resign from my position as SHIELD agent and review the relevant knowledge of quantum channels. But Ava has done many disgraceful things for SHIELD. I'm worried that they won't let her go so easily. Goliath said worriedly. Wang Kai smiled coldly. It doesn't matter, you can just move next door to me. If Nick Fury dares to play tricks, I will praise SHIELD. It's usually easy to say. But when it comes to resurrecting his parents, the people or forces who dare to stop him, just cut them all off. I can't thank you enough, Kai. The ghost woman whispered. I will try my best to build a quantum channel. As a colleague of Dr. Hank Pym, the parents of the Ghost Girl are both masters in the quantum field. Nature left her a precious legacy of knowledge. In addition, she became a good doctor after a long illness. The Ghost Girl herself is also an expert in the quantum field. Therefore, she can really help a lot in building quantum channels. Wang Kai nodded and smiled and stretched out his hand. Very good, then I hope we can complete this dream machine as soon as possible. Afternoon, City of San Francisco. The 4 came to Pym Technology Company. The Ghost Girl finally took off her battle clothes. Put on a casual suit. As a childish girl under 20 years old. At this time, I was having a lot of fun with Luna. Goliath, the old father, was very happy to see this. I haven't seen him for a long time. Goliath looked at the company in front of him and sighed in his heart. I hope Hank isn't still so paranoid and grumpy. Result, they came up short. Hank is not at the company. But they met Hank's daughter, Hope Dine. Excuse me, are you? Hope looked at Goliath and felt very familiar. I've definitely seen it somewhere, but I just can't remember it. Goliath smiled innocently. I am your father's assistant. I met you several times when you were a child. Mr. Collins. Hope immediately thought of it. Shake hands with Goliath and salute very politely. Invite everyone into her office. After a brief exchange of greetings, Goliath gets right to the point. Hope, we are here today to rescue your mother. She is trapped in the quantum realm. Now she can only be rescued by building a quantum channel. These are naturally what Wang Kai has already said. Dr. Pym means that the stones in the toilet are smelly and hard. If you ask him directly for Pym particles, you won't give them to him even if you kill his daughter. So it can only be done this way. Hope was stunned after hearing this. He spread his hands and showed an extremely complicated smile on his face. You didn't lie to me. Of course not, because we are all poor people who need quantum channels to save others. Goliath took out a piece of information. It's the ghost girl's physical condition report. After giving it to the confused Hope to watch, she immediately believed 90% of it. I knew my mother was not dead. Hope cried with joy. Since my mother said she went on a business trip, she never came back. Although my father said there was a car accident. But Hope never wanted to believe it. Today I finally got a clue that my mother is still alive. I'll take you to find him. 20 minutes later, everyone then came outside Dr. Pym's single-family villa. There are cameras everywhere here. It was all installed by Dr. Pym, a paranoid maniac. Since some Pym particles were lost decades ago, I actually borrowed it for Fulian but forgot to pay it back. He had always suspected that Howard Stark had stolen it. As a result, the protection against Pym particles became even more stringent. Hope stepped forward and knocked on the door. Before he finished knocking, an old voice came from the house. Hope, you are not satisfied with kicking me out of the board of directors, do you want to kick me out of the house? I actually brought someone here. Everyone. Hope smiled awkwardly. This is a private matter for our family. Then he shouted to the camera on the door, don't be blinded. This is Mr. Collins. We have something to do with you. What can be the matter? I heard that he works in S.H.I.E.L.D. He must be here for my Pym particles. Dr. Pym replied angrily. You go back and tell them that I, Hank Pym, will starve to death. Death outside and shrunk into sub-atoms. I will never hand over my invention. Yo, the ironclad King Pym. When Wong Kai saw this, he had no time to continue talking nonsense. But as soon as I lifted my feet, Luna stepped forward and held her down. Look at my brother Kai. Luna held the hanging ring and created a portal directly in front of the door. This is a door upon a door. Hope was stunned. Others take it for granted. Because they came from New York using this. Everyone jumped in. I looked around but didn't see Dr. Pym. Wong Kai shouted directly, your wife is not dead. We predicted through magic that she is still alive. If you want to save her from the quantum realm, show up now. Why should I believe you? Dr. Pym's voice rang out from the home speakers. Still don't know where to hide. When Wong Kai saw Dr. Pym's suspicious look, he roared. Are you considered a man? For your wife, even if there is only a chance. You should do your best to seize it. If it's fake, kill those who lied to you. Why do you still have to think about such a simple thing for so long like a coward? I don't know if anyone remembers. In the movie Ant-Man 1, Dr. Pym's student Darren Cross developed a gooey gun. This thing is modeled after the Pym particle shrinking gun. As a result, animals cannot be safely shrunk. Instead, it turns people into a ball of mush. This thing is much more lethal than Pym particles. Whoever you look at will die. Dr. Pym can definitely do it. As long as he is willing, he can set off a killing feast no less than that of Wong Kai. Who dares to lie to him in such a situation? Wong Kai feels that Dr. Pym is always shrinking. As a result, my courage was also reduced. Completely unlike what a husband and father should be like. Wives are waiting for their husbands, and daughters are waiting for their mothers. Just because of your suspicions, they suffer. I ask you, who are you? There was silence in the hall for a long time. Dr. Pym continued to speak without being seen. Hope looked at Wong Kai with a strange look. Luna's eyes are full of little stars. The ghost girl also smiled. They all think Wong Kai is right. I'm Hank Pym, their husband and father. Dr. Pym's low roar suddenly came from the hall. Like making a decision, the sound of heavy footsteps came from the speaker. It didn't take long for everyone to see the gray-haired and angry Dr. Pym. Boy, don't think that I don't know this is a provoking method. If it weren't for Janet, I would never have met anyone from S.H.I.E.L.D. Goliath saw this and smiled slightly. You're still the same, you haven't changed at all. HMPH, aren't you the same? Dr. Pym said coldly. Hope immediately stepped forward to smooth things over. It's not easy to build a quantum channel. Let's sit down and talk. After a while, Dr. Pym accepted the existence of magic. Everyone also began to discuss how to build a quantum channel. Wang Kai couldn't talk about this professional knowledge. It's like listening to a book from heaven. Until 2 hours later. After everyone's deliberations were completed, Wang Kai asked directly, "How long will it take? I can solve the problem with money. If there are problems that are difficult to solve, I can ask others to help solve them. Normally it takes 5 years. Wang Kai's eyelids jumped after hearing this. It's better to just grab the infinite gems of this universe. But then Dr. Pym changed the topic. It is currently estimated to be 5 months. With them as assistants, the speed will be much faster. But the main problem is how to test, in case you can't come back. Then you are risking your life. Everyone knows it. When I was thinking about how to solve this problem, Luna stood up. You can leave this to me. The form of Aikin is also a physical entity, and will disappear automatically after being injured, and the memory will be integrated into the body. Wang Kai nodded. Duplication. It does have a pathfinding purpose. Well, since you are a magician, let's experiment with magic plus technology. Everything's ready. Wang Kai doesn't need to worry about the rest. Dr. Pym will start arranging the work step by step. What is missing? Goliath would say. The provincial Dr. Pym wants to save face and waste time. After that, Luna opened the portal every day to send Goliath and the ghost girl to work, and then pick them back up at night. So the following positions emerged. Wang Kai as Party A and the captain of the logistics team. Luna as the transport captain and tester. Pym is the overall planner and chief scientist. Hope, Goliath, and Ghost Girl are all assistants. Construction is on track. Wang Kai continues his journey of signing in, drawing and killing villains. 3 days later, Hudson Tributary Riparian Laboratory, New York. An eye-shaking experiment is about to take place here. Make an artificial sun. Get endless energy. The person in charge of this matter is Harry, the young master of the Osborne group. He also specially invited his gay friend Peter to come over for a visit. Speaking of artificial sun, this is also related to Tony's announcement of miniaturization technology for the arc reactor. No one can avoid the temptation of new energy. Major groups have begun to follow suit and advance. So when Norman was injured and temporarily on the second line, let Harry take over for the time being. Agreed with Dr. Otto's artificial sun experimental plan. Ladies and gentlemen, please take a look at this machine that completes and maintains integration. More than a dozen Osborne Group executives and celebrities walked towards Dr. Otto. They also include the invisible Wang Kai and Luna. Luna has just learned the invisibility spell. According to her words, both of them are out of sight. We can only hold hands and walk on. Today will be a great day in human history. We will witness the birth of the artificial sun. This will produce infinitely powerful energy. More powerful than Stark Industries' arc reactor. An impassioned speech. Everyone is smiling. Then Dr. Otto's Rose pushed over a machine wrapped in gray cloth. After uncovering it, it was revealed to be 4 huge amounts of robotic arm claws. This is my assistant. It can help me handle core integration better. They are resistant to heat and magnetism. Dr. Otto took off his shirt while explaining. And standing in the middle of the 4 robotic arm claws, the arc-shaped reinforcer at the waist is fastened immediately. Then the steel back like a spine stuck behind him. The upper needle is slowly inserted into the body. Everyone who saw it felt nervous. Ding! It is detected that the host has arrived at the sign-in location where Dr. Octopus was born. The sign-in time is 3 minutes. If the stay time is less than 3 minutes, the sign-in will be considered a failure. The countdown to check-in is 2 minutes and 59 seconds. The system sounds. Now Dr. Otto has changed his name to Dr. Octopus. This is an extremely smart mechanical assistant, and its artificial intelligence is no less than that of humans. So just to be on the safe side, I put a suppressor on it to make sure I was the one controlling it. Dr. Octopus smiled and introduced his robotic arm claw. After kissing his wife Rose, he walked to the test stand. After all, this is today's protagonist. Artificial sun experimental device. The extremely rare element tritium is the core of the experiment, with only 25 pounds in the world. Dr. Octopus puts on his goggles, looking deeply at the file-sized spherical tritium element on my little finger. Then resolutely press the start switch. 4 laser beams are emitted from the sharp corners of the experimental device. After hitting the tritium element, it instantly expanded into a blazing fireball that was twice the size of a basketball file. Artificial sun appeared, like a translucent red energy ribbon appearing. This is the solar wind. Will continue to spread to the outside world. This is when Dr. Octopus's mechanical claw comes in handy. When these solar winds knock the protective shield away, he will push back all these solar winds in advance. That's right, simply press it back. The sun is in the palm of my hand. Dr. Octopus looked at the charming artificial sun and whispered to himself. But as soon as I finished saying this extremely pretentious sentence, the entire system started beeping alarms. The magnetic force began to expand and strengthen inexplicably. It sucked in all the surrounding ironware, jewelry, and gold watches. Don't worry, it's just a power leak. Facing the increasingly strong magnetic force, Dr. Octopus still pretends to be calm. But the protective cover on the surface of the artificial sun gradually bulged. The senior executives of the Osborne Group and other celebrities who were watching began to gradually retreat. Spider-Man Peter Parker's hair stood on end. The Spider-Sense screamed at him to leave. This toy should be a super bomb. Harry, we have to get people out of here, Peter said to Harry. Although the latter was shocked, he also knew his priorities. If something happens to the people here, the Osborne Group will really be doomed. So he immediately stood up and shouted, "Everyone! It's dangerous here, please leave as soon as possible." Stab. Various metals were torn directly. The chandelier on the ceiling of the laboratory was even torn down. They were sucked into the artificial sun one after another. The system is overloaded. Dr. Otto, we have to stop the experiment. The assistant advises you to stop. But how could Dr. Octopus end his hard work? No, it will be stable. I can control it. As soon as he finished speaking, the system of the artificial solar device showed that the protective cover was broken. The arm-thick solar wind emerged from the protective cover, instantly expanded nearly 10 times, like a whip whipping wildly in the laboratory. After hitting the ceiling, I heard only a muffled sound. It actually penetrated the laboratory. Turn it off, Otto. I order you to turn it off, Harry shouted anxiously. When Peter saw this, he even wanted to take off his shirt and pull out the plug directly. At this moment, the solar wind becomes even more violent, like a whip whipping rapidly, heading towards Dr. Octopus's wife Rose. No, Dr. Octopus hurriedly stretched out his mechanical arm to block it. But the distance between the two seems to be thousands of meters away. The robotic arm was too late to save her. At this time, a golden translucent shield appeared in front of Rose. It was the invisible Luna who took action. Without waiting for everyone's reaction, Wong Kai appeared using classic skin, wielding blue sword energy. Cut off the crazy swaying solar wind. Turn it off. Otherwise the equipment will be damaged and you won't be able to retain any experimental data. One word wakes up the dreamer. Nothing in this world can be achieved overnight. Experiments require step-by-step improvement and correction to get on the right track. How could a senior scientist not understand this? Dr. Octopus hurriedly started, but the manic solar wind doesn't give him that much time. The protective cover was damaged again. More solar winds appear, waving randomly like golden tentacles. I need time, Dr. Octopus shouted. He is downloading all the data to his robotic arm claw. And this takes 5 to 10 seconds. Good. Wong Kai waved his sword again. The blue sword energy cuts off all the solar wind attacking Dr. Octopus. And Luna still holds up the Seraphim shield, protecting Rose and others behind him. What are you looking at? Why don't you leave quickly? Luna's voice sounded, finally woke up the sluggish Rose. Although I don't know what happened, but it's always about controlling it so it doesn't turn out to be a bad thing. Rose took one look at her husband and had to grit her teeth and leave. And Peter found that he seemed to be useless, so he and Harry evacuated the crowd. When outsiders, including experimental assistants, all leave, only Luna, Wong Kai, and Dr. Octopus were left. The data download is completed, but the artificial sun cannot be turned off. Dr. Octopus shouted regretfully. Once this explodes, maybe his laboratory will be gone. The entire neighborhood could be destroyed. But Wong Kai's heart moved. He kept chopping the solar wind with his hands. Immediately shouted to Luna, "Mirror dimension. Throw the artificial sun into the mirror dimension." In the movie, the artificial sun was unplugged. As a result, the power cannot be displayed. But Wang Kai needed to take a look at how powerful this thing was. He holds the largest tritium element in his hand. At least you need to know how powerful this thing is. Good. Luna immediately threw her hands. The space in front of me is shattered like glass. Then draw a circle with one hand. A golden portal appeared in the sky above the artificial sun device. Then Luna pressed down. The portal fell immediately. Swallowed the artificial sun device. All that was left was a perfectly round shallow crater in the ground. Oh my god, who are you? Dr. Octopus was shocked. He is obsessed with the research and development of artificial suns. Therefore, I don't know much about Wang Kai's current appearance. I'll tell you when we get out. Wang Kai and Luna walked into the mirror dimension together, looking at the artificial sun slowly falling from the sky in the distance. Luna couldn't help but grab Wang Kai's hand. I saw a dazzling light suddenly flashing in the sky. In an instant, both of them covered their eyes involuntarily. That is white. Pure and flawless white light enveloped the entire New York City. It was accompanied by an earth-shattering loud noise. Boom, like a small hydrogen bomb exploding in the air. The shock wave set off a strong wind of magnitude 18 on the ground. High-rise buildings only resisted for a moment in the face of this manic storm. It was blown into dominoes and fell towards the periphery of the explosion. Then came an even more terrifying heat storm. The moment it came into contact with any building, it caused a huge fire. Then it suddenly disintegrated in less than 1 second. It flew towards the periphery like dust. The iconic mushroom cloud slowly rises in the sky. Wang Kai and Luna looked shocked. Although New York in the mirror dimension was not destroyed, but it also blew up the most prosperous Manhattan Island into ruins. The power of the artificial sun after it fully explodes can be compared to that of nuclear weapons. It's unbelievable, Luna exclaimed in a low voice. Wang Kai smiled slightly. This is an artificial sun. Although it is smaller, it is still a sun. The two left the mirror dimension. The system's voice finally sounded. Ding, congratulations to the host for signing in at the birthplace of Dr. Octopus. The sign-in time exceeded 3 minutes and the sign-in task was successfully completed. Ding, the reward is 300 check-in points. Ding, the next sign-in location is the place where Spider-Man fights Dr. Octopus. If you stay for more than 3 minutes, you will be deemed to have signed in successfully. Completed another sign-in task. There are now 3,600 check-in points. 36 consecutive draws can be performed. Just when Wang Kai was happy, the system sound sounded again. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing 30 sign-in tasks including hidden sign-in. Start the intermediate lottery roulette. Warm reminder, the intermediate lottery roulette has more advanced rewards, but at the same time the required check-in points are doubled. A draw costs 200 check-in points. That's 30. Wang Kai was slightly surprised. But now that the intermediate lottery roulette has been started, then try it. System, I want to draw a lottery, 3 consecutive draws. Ding, 600 check-in points have been consumed, and a lottery is in progress. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the hero template, Void Spirit City Judge, Jiang Kui. Ding, congratulations to the host for getting the equipment, the big stick. Ding, congratulations to the host for getting a special item from the system mall. Another hero template, but this Jiang Kui, Master Kui. He doesn't seem to need it. As for the big stick, it is simple and clear. It increases spell power by 120 points, which is replaced by a 12% increase in spell damage in the real world. But it's also useless, and this system mall is very intriguing. After opening it silently in my heart, what appears as an interface like a grocery store. There are 8 items for sale above. Each item is marked with a selling price. There is also a 48-hour countdown below. Obviously, the products in the system mall will be refreshed over time and other items will reappear. Cloth armor, small medicine bottle, refreshing crystal, fighting gloves, boots of haste, passionate rose, skill enhancement points, skill enhancement points. Each is priced at 100 check-in points. Except for boxing gloves, which have never appeared before. All other items have been seen. Skill enhancement points even appeared twice. Wang Kai bought it directly without hesitation. Raised the immortal demon body to level 14. But he still has 2,800 check-in points left. This system mall is like taking out the rewards from low-level lottery items and selling them separately. Wang Kai thought in his mind. But this is fine. As long as the skill enhancement point appears, he will definitely buy it. In this way, there is finally hope for reaching the level 100 immortal demon body. Otherwise, it would still be too unstable to keep drawing. Brother Kai, what are you thinking about? Luna's voice brought Wang Kai back to reality. Dr. Octopus was waiting for an answer with a confused look on his face. It's nothing, I was just distracted. Wang Kai looked at Luna and smiled lightly. Then he said to Dr. Octopus, if you have any questions, just ask. Who are you? Dr. Octopus asked immediately. It doesn't matter if you are a magician or a descendant of a magic family, you just need to know that we are very powerful. Then why help me? Of course I took a fancy to your artificial sun device, but when I came uninvited, I realized something was wrong. Talk to Dr. Octopus, temporarily dispelling the opponent's defense. Wang Kai and Luna left directly. Now is not the time to win over. We have to wait until the second sign-in task is completed. Shortly after the two left, the fire brigade came in. At the same time, Dr. Octopus's wife Rose also ran in. She cried with joy when she saw her husband safe and sound. Although the experimental equipment is gone. But as long as people are still there, it is better than anything else. The fire brigade reports that the scene is safe. Harry and Peter then walked in. The young master of the Osborne group looked angry. Very dissatisfied with Dr. Octopus. Tritium is expensive. I hope Mr. Otto will calculate the data well next time and not make such a mistake again. After saying that, he left directly, and issued an order to remove all Dr. Octopus's research funds. The result immediately hit the pain point of scientists. Negate the results plus withdraw funds. This combination of punches is really disappointing. This is how Norman Osborn took risks in the first place. Now it's Dr. Octopus's turn. Wang Kai sighed. At this time, I am cutting down a building in the mirror space to experience the changes in the immortal demonic body. Stark Tower is so ugly, it starts with you. The metal storm in the sky disappeared. The solemn and holy angel armor appears. Wang Kai holds knives in both hands and his eyes are fierce. All the power burst out instantly. In an instant, a shocking sword energy struck directly at Stark Tower. Like cutting a cake, cut from the top layer all the way down to a third of the way and then stop. Exposing a huge crack as wide as one person. Split the Stark Tower into a Y shape. Only about the 30th floor. Wang Kai counted the layers and was slightly disappointed. The sword energy cannot be maintained forever. But it appears at the moment of chopping. Therefore, the loss is extremely serious. The strength becomes smaller as you go to the next level. Looking back at Luna, now I have learned the levitation magic. Floating quietly in the sky. Like a ghost. Try how many meters it is now. Hit the street with a knife. In an instant, gravel splashed everywhere, and the sound was loud. Suddenly there was a long, narrow ditch and crack in the street. Wide at the top and narrow at the bottom. Very rough around the edges. Brother Kai, the test is ready. Luna flew over with a smile on her face. The tape measure on my hand shows 43.96 meters. It's so short, when can the moon be split open? Wang Kai thought sadly in his heart. Then he and Luna left the mirror dimension. After lunch, as soon as they turned on the TV, they watched a live show. There's a masked speedster who wants to fly his motorcycle over 6 Black Hawk helicopters. And the rotors actually work. He can be called a master of death. I didn't feel it when I watched it on TV. Let's go and watch it live, Brother Kai. Luna's eyes sparkled, very interested in this novel performance. Wang Kai naturally agreed. He has recognized it. This is Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze. This scene can be regarded as a famous Marvel scene. Maybe you can get a check-in spot. Ladies and gentlemen, please watch the most deadly stunt ever. Let's have a treat, Explosive Johnny. The host's powerful shout sounded. Wang Kai also heard the system sound as he wished. Ding, it is detected that the host is at the hidden sign-in location of the death speed stunt, and the sign-in process will begin. The countdown to check-in is 2 minutes and 59 seconds. Johnny, Johnny, the audience at the scene shouted loudly. People responded enthusiastically to today's protagonist. After all, this is most likely the last performance in his life. Flying over the end of the track, Johnny sat astride his beloved motorcycle. Today's performance is in memory of his father. Flying over a helicopter has always been his dream. How much nitrogen did you add? Johnny asked his assistant. Enough to fly you to outer space. That's good. Remove the blindfold from your head. Johnny accelerated violently. White smoke rises from the violent friction between the wheels and the ground. Emits a pungent smell of burning rubber. Without any hesitation, he rushed towards the leap platform. Whoosh! Johnny and his car rushed into the air. Below your feet are the helicopter wings that are constantly rotating. The scene fell silent for a moment. Everyone held their breath and was extremely nervous. Time seems to slow down. But it seemed like just a moment. Johnny drew a perfect arc in the air, fly past 6 Black Hawk helicopters, and landed safely. No accidents were caused. Wow! The scene immediately erupted in cheers that were even louder than before. Luna also shouted happily, but Wang Kai didn't feel anything at all. He said dumbfounded, "What's so good about this? There is no surprise when you know the answer." If Luna wasn't here, Wang Kai wanted to see if Ghost Rider would die in human form. Back to New York, Wang Kai pays close attention to Dr. Octopus's movements. As a result, within 5 days, Dr. Octopus couldn't stand it any longer. He put on a black hood and started robbing. Want to recreate and complete the artificial sun. It feels a bit like deceiving oneself and deceiving others. As a result, I met Spider-Man in the bank who was applying for a college loan. So the two started fighting like this. The news also appeared on live news. Let's go Luna, it's time to meet this Dr. Octopus. Inside the bank, Spider-Man's middle finger and ring finger are clasped inside. White spider silk shoots out from the wrist. Firmly control Dr. Octopus's 2 robotic arm claws to start the mouth escape. Why do you do this? You are a scientist, not a monster. Dr. Octopus's expression changed after hearing this. The eyes under the black hood flashed dangerously. Do you know who I am? The claw of the mechanical arm pulled fiercely. Huge amounts of power not even Spider-Man can withstand. With a whoosh, he flew in front of Dr. Octopus. Then 2 robotic arm claws clamped Spider-Man's head hard. And keep increasing in strength. I want to crush Spider-Man's head directly. You don't understand at all. Everything I do is for the world. Dr. Octopus roared. The 3rd robotic arm claw spits out a spike from its head. Aim at Spider-Man's forehead and stab it. Bang! The spike was broken by a kick. Spider-Man then crossed his arms and sprayed out spider webs. After sticking to the bank desks on both sides, he quickly pulled them over. It hit Dr. Octopus directly. Instinctively, the claws of the mechanical arm loosened. Spider-Man quickly jumped back and rolled to avoid the next robotic arm claw. At the same time, it shoots out spider silk and flies up to the roof. After standing upside down on the ceiling, continue to spray spider silk. Wanting to tie up Dr. Octopus from a safe distance. Annoying bugs. Dr. Octopus also grabbed the desk and threw it towards Spider-Man on the ceiling. The two of them attack each other. But he never came close again. At this time, suddenly, a siren sounded faintly outside the bank. Dr. Octopus suddenly understood that something was wrong. Although his robotic arm claws are not afraid of bullets. But the body is still flesh and blood. 1 bullet can easily take care of him. Control the robotic arm claw to grab 2 bags of US bills. Dr. Octopus ran away without looking back. But Spider-Man refused to give up. The shooting spider silk stuck firmly to the money bag. The two of them only heard a stinging sound when they were pulled by huge amounts of force. The money bag was torn apart in an instant. It rained money in the bank. But Dr. Octopus didn't get a penny. Ah, Spider-Man. Dr. Octopus' heart bleeds as he looks at the banknotes all over the sky. But the sirens outside are getting closer and closer. I can only leave in a panic and quickly. But Spider-Man still refused to let Dr. Octopus go. The two of them fought from inside the bank to outside the bank. Hit from the ground to the wall. Still fighting. Dr. Octopus swung Spider-Man and threw him to the ground. But Spider-Man fired webbing to stick him. Driven by inertia, the two of them fell downward at the same time. Just at this moment, a fast-moving train passed below. Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man both fell on the front of the car. Are you just pestering me? Dr. Octopus stood up and asked angrily. As a result, Spider-Man's words made him even more angry. I won't give up until you stop. Okay, try to stop this. The claws of the mechanical arm reached into the cockpit and destroyed it. Then he pulled out the steering column. All the instruments in the cab immediately made a buzzing sound and lit up with sparks. The driving system is damaged. The speed of the train soared rapidly. The people in the carriage suddenly became frightened. Ha ha ha, Spider-Man, go stop this train and then be killed by me from exhaustion. Dr. Octopus laughed wildly. It was as if I had already seen the future. But at this moment, a shadow suddenly appeared and covered Dr. Octopus. The smile gradually disappears. Dr. Octopus looked up and his pupils suddenly shrank. Two giant mechas as tall as him appeared in the air. The lines of the whole body are strong and sharp, with great momentum. Looking down at himself, cold sweat suddenly appeared on my forehead. Dr. Octopus just wanted to escape. A voice suddenly came from inside the mecha. I have money, I also have tritium, how about working for me? Dr. Octopus's eyes suddenly lit up. Isn't that why he robbed banks? I promise you. Well, stop this train now. The metal storm quickly flew in front of the speeding car. Spider-Man immediately knew what Wong Kai wanted to do. He quickly climbed into the car and shouted to everyone, hurry up. We are going to slow down. Hold the front of the car with both hands. A cone-shaped stream of blue particles was ejected from the foot of the metal storm. The instantaneous power output is enough to make metal storm reach 2 to 3 times the speed of sound. The sound of crunching metal deforming sounded. The driver at the front of the car couldn't help but retreat very quickly. The entire front of the car is being squeezed by 2 huge amounts of force. This situation makes one's scalp numb. Jrjrg. The wheels skidded rapidly, sending out sparks. Although the speed has dropped a lot. But there is still some distance before stopping. Spider-Man saw this and wanted to step forward to help. But suddenly I heard metal storm making a sound again. Luna, who was following the theater in the carriage, immediately disappeared. After flying outside the carriage, he crossed his arms. Then draw a semicircle each. Suddenly countless arms appeared behind him like the 1,000-armed Guanyin. Then hundreds of Lunas came out from behind. Everyone put their hands together. Open it and pull out the golden magic whip. Then they all threw towards the train carriage. Pa! In an instant, the carriage was surrounded by golden magic whips. All Luna leaned back and grasped the magic whip. Let's all speak out. 1, 2, 3, pull. The sound is crisp and loud. As soon as I heard it, I knew she was a little girl. The speed is decreasing. The driver in the car shouted in surprise. With Lunala train, Wong Kai also drove Metal Storm to increase output power again. After 5 seconds have passed, the runaway train finally stopped at the last stop. The golden magic whip disperses. People in the carriage cheered endlessly. Some even shed tears for the rest of their lives. Let's go, Doctor. Wong Kai stretched out huge amounts of mecha arms. Dr. Octopus immediately controlled the metal arm claws and stepped forward to grasp it. The 3 of them flew away, leaving only 3 silhouettes of Spider-Man behind. There are still questions in my mind. Isn't he a bad person? Didn't you say it would be a sure thing next time? And what the hell is going on? The world is so complicated. Spider-Man looked helpless and continued to work hard for his college loan. A moment later, at Wong Kai's home, Dr. Octopus was stunned for a while when he heard Wong Kai's plan. You said you have a way to make tritium as big as a football. Can you find a more professional genius than me to stabilize the artificial sun? How can this be? Wong Kai smiled slightly. Everything is possible. There are Pym particles, there is Tony the genius. There is also financial support from the Osborne Group. Artificial sun is not a problem at all. And as long as the experiment is conducted in the mirror dimension, there is no need to worry about the adverse effects of artificial solar explosions. Wong Kai told Dr. Octopus his thoughts and resources. The latter was so surprised that he was speechless. Then he developed a keen interest in magic. After seeing Luna casually showing her hands, she sighed repeatedly. The world seems to be getting weirder. But magic plus technology is really an unprecedented attempt. I think our cooperation will be very pleasant. Wong Kai smiled slightly and stretched out his right hand. Of course everyone will be happy. In addition, don't you want to remove the claws of your robotic arm? Holding hands, Dr. Octopus shook his head. No need for now, I still need them. Since I have said so. Wang Kai didn't force it either. Get Dr. Octopus. After that, Wang Kai went to Norman's house again. Let him settle the matter of Dr. Octopus robbing the bank. This way Dr. Octopus doesn't have to worry about the police coming to his door. To be able to continue a normal life with his wife Rose. The progress of improving artificial sun devices will also be accelerated a lot. 3 days later, night falls in New York. A young man with a pale face suddenly walked out of the quiet dark alley of Hell's Kitchen. I saw that every step he took. One of the lights around you will go out. The light bulb kept blowing. Glass shattered everywhere. Several idle gangsters were attracted by the sound. When I see a well-dressed mysterious man, I want to go forward and make a fortune. But the closer they got to this man, I feel my body getting colder and colder. Even the air he exhaled was covered in white mist. I haven't seen you in 100 years, but the human world has developed to this extent. The mysterious man looked at the tall buildings in the distance and said. Then he glanced at the gangster who was about to escape. He raised the corners of his mouth and revealed an extremely evil smile, appearing in front of the gangster in the blink of an eye. He reached out and tapped each of them quickly on the chest with his finger. The gangsters looked frightened. I want to say the words of mercy, but I can no longer make a sound. The body becomes dehydrated rapidly. His skin became even paler than that of the mysterious man. He fell to the ground as if he had lost all his blood. He died in excruciating pain. But humans still haven't changed much. The mysterious man sneered coldly. With a wave of one hand, a thick black fog sprang out from the palm of my hand. Just a moment after falling to the ground, a clay sculpture of a human figure quickly appeared on the ground. Then the mud melted into the body. What emerged was the local snake, earth demon summoned by the mysterious man. Witch heart demon. The earth demon called out the identity of the mysterious man. The expression was quite fearful. At this time, a group of filthy water gushes out from the sewer manhole cover. After arriving at the side of the witch heart demon, he quickly formed a human form. It's another local snake and water demon. Then a black wind roared from the distance. The wind demon among the 3 local snakes has also arrived. Seeing that all the people recruited have arrived, the witch heart demon immediately smiled evilly and promised the cake. You 3 help me win the St. Fengenza contract, and from now on you will have a share of your territory in the world. The 3 demons had no choice but to agree. After all, the person in front of me is the son of Mephisto, the king of hell. The power is beyond their comparison. Very good, now go with me to find something that attracts me. I feel it is in this city. The inner witch showed an evil smile. Turn around and look in the direction of Wang Kai's home in Brooklyn. And at this time, Wang Kai knew nothing about this matter. Hey, the system has refreshed skill enhancement points again. Buy it now. At the check-in point, there are just 3,000 points left. The immortal demon body has also been upgraded to level 15. Suddenly, a sound came from the silent kitchen. Like the faucet is not tightened. The sound of water droplets splashing in the stainless steel pool. Then a gust of evil wind blew in from the window. The whistling sound is like the scream of ghosts. Even the cracks in their doors seeped with mud. Forming a clay hand, climbed towards Wang Kai and the 2. I'm going to hell. Luna jumped up in fright. He happened to be hugged and caught by Princess Wang Kai. Pointing at the clay hand, I was trembling and couldn't say anything. Don't worry, it's not a ghost. Wang Kai comforted him. I already know in my heart that these are the 3 villains from the Ghost Rider movie. Earth demons, wind demons and water demons. They are all goods that can be killed in one move. Sure enough, within a few seconds 3 people appeared. One has a dry body, one has disheveled hair, and one has a wet body dripping with water. The 3 of them didn't speak and just stared at Luna. Luna, mirror dimension. Wang Kai whispered in Luna's ear. This is his home. Next door is the ghost girl and Goliath who moved in. He didn't want to make too much noise. Click click click. Although Luna was scared, she still activated the mirror dimension. Wang Kai hugged Luna and turned into a gust of wind and got in. The 3 demons looked confused. Beings at their level don't know that camouflage exists. So I was very confused about the sudden appearance of the wall of glass fragments. This is the guardian of the human world. A burst of black mist suddenly appeared in the living room. The witch heart demon appeared from it and looked at the entrance to the mirror dimension with fear. But then I thought, there is no reason for the human guardian to run away when he sees him. This is just a descendant. Let's go in and take a look. The evil spirit takes the lead to enter. The three men had no choice but to follow. As a result, what I encountered when I first came to the mirror dimension was a machete more than 40 meters long. Boom! Wang Kai activated his immortal demonic body. Split his apartment in half with one knife. It's not over yet. He threw another cat bomb and completely blew it into rubble before stopping. The blazing cat's head flame rises. Wang Kai did not hear the system prompt to kill any villain. What a horrific attack. Black smoke appeared and the inner demon appeared again. The earth demon walked directly out of the sea of fire. It's no big deal except that the body becomes a little brittle. Open your mouth and spit out a mouthful of saliva. The water demon emerged from it. Unexpectedly, it was hiding in the mouth of the earth demon. The invisible matter of wind demon has no entity. Neither slashes nor bombs hurt him. This woman gives me the urge to enjoy her. Can you tell me why? The evil spirit lowers his eyebrows and smiles evilly. But in the next moment, he was cut into two pieces by a golden crescent moon. You're looking for shit. Wang Kai roared and slashed out golden crescent moons continuously. In an instant, the golden crescent moons merged into one piece. Separate the heads, bodies, waists and legs of the four witch heart demons. But they still didn't feel anything. This attack is of no use to us. Feng Mo laughed loudly. He even took the initiative to divide himself into more portions like a layer cake. But in the next second it was completely healed. Sao, physical attacks are invalid. Wang Kai cursed secretly in his heart. His machete was really useless against such a natural type opponent. The last integrate skill must be able to convert physical damage into magic damage. This can make up for the shortcomings. Since you won't tell me, I have no choice but to investigate it myself. The inner witch smiled evilly. A thick black mist sprang up under my feet like a rocket. As fast as lightning, it flew towards the two of them. Bang! The handsome face of the witch heart demon directly hit a huge amount of golden shield. It fell to the ground slightly comically, then turned into black mist. He looked at the two people with gloomy eyes again from where he was standing just now. Making a fool of yourself in front of your subordinates like this. Make him feel extremely angry. Luna lifts the shield of Seraphim. Then he crossed his arms. Use the form of Archon again. In an instant, hundreds of Lunas appeared. The four people from Wu Shenmo were surrounded by water. And Wang Kai was not idle at this time either. Change the Mozi hero template immediately. Metal Storm appeared instantly. The two had almost no communication. You already know what to do next. Standing in a rut. Metal Storm spreads its arms, forming a huge amounts of tetrahedral electromagnetic field. The sound of stinging electricity sounded. The blue electromagnetic wall is looming, with the rapid movement of electromagnetism on the wall, forming a flashing horizontal and vertical grid pattern. And all four of the witch heart demons were trapped in the electromagnetic field. Blue electric sparks appeared on the surface of the body. Even if you want to elementalize it, you can't do it. Bosat's thunder. Luna on the ground shouted loudly. He pressed his hands violently to the ground. More than 20 thick golden red lightning bolts jumped back and forth on the concrete floor. In the blink of an eye, they came to the feet of the four of them together. In the shocked eyes of Wu Shenmo and others, all the lightning wraps them all up. Boom! The violent magic energy was instantly detonated. The roar shattered all the glass in the entire strip. The shock wave spread like a Category 8 gale, throwing the broken cement and soil around like bullets. Only a large hole about 3 meters deep was left on the ground. And all four demons disappeared. Sao, is it so difficult to die? I didn't hear the system prompt for villain killing at all. Wang Kai finally understood what it means to be a difficult kid. The evil laughter sounded again. The black heart demon instantly appeared behind Luna. He pinched Luna's neck with his left hand, sniffed between her neck and asked, "Know immediately what this feels like." It turns out that the aroma of high-end food is hidden so deeply. Before I eat that $1,000 meal, this appetizer is not bad for me. The witch heart demon opened its big mouth and bit down on Luna. But when I heard a bang, I almost lost my tooth. Then the red sword light was sent. The sword of Emperor Weishan stabbed directly into the mouth of the witch heart demon. Then it was sent out from the back of the head. But before Luna could behead the owl again, the witch heart demon turned into black mist and disappeared. Food with thorns will be more delicious when eaten, ha ha ha. Evil laughter surrounds all around. The wind demon suddenly appeared and turned into a cloud of wind, harassing Luna in the air. And the water demon flows on the ground. After arriving at the feet of Luna duplication, she suddenly attacked. The earth demon even changed his body. Become a giant monster of mud and concrete. A slap is wider than a bus. The two sides fell into a chaotic battle for a while. Luna has little combat experience. At this time, he was even more confused. He looks like a ghost. Wang Kai complained directly. I have already thought about throwing these 4 guys in the mirror dimension and imprisoning them forever. Suddenly, with a thought in his heart, Wang Kai immediately thought that he had another spell hero template that he had ignored. A hero who specializes in catching ghosts. System, change the hero template, Void Spirit City Judge Jiang Kui. Ding, the host has changed the hero template and can now use all the skills of Void Spirit City Judge, Jiang Kui. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Fool. Sanctioning ritual. Being damaged will trigger a spell explosion, causing spell damage to enemies near you. The explosion has a 2-second cooldown. And it will detonate itself 3 seconds after you die, causing super high magic damage. Void Scavenger. Hammers the ground, causing area of effect magic damage and slowing down enemies. A direct hit will cause 2.5 times the damage. Cooldown time 4 seconds. Annihilation Lock. Throwing a void hook lock will force the hit enemy back, and using reincarnation devouring will make it impossible to escape. Cooling time 14 seconds. Reincarnation devouring. After charging up, open the void body and devour the enemies in front of you multiple times, causing huge amounts of magic damage. Cooling time 40 seconds. The skills are not much different from those in the game. The only problem is that you can die many times in the game. But in reality, you can usually only die once. That's enough, Luna. Cancel the duplication and let me handle them now. Wang Kai's body burst out with blue light surrounding himself. The body size keeps growing. Soon it reached a height of 3.5 meters. When the blue light dissipates, what appeared was a humanoid creature with long flowing silver hair, golden skull shoulder armor, holding a huge blue hook lock, and his whole body covered in blue forest armor. Luna was shocked when she saw this. But according to what Wang Kai said, all duplication was withdrawn instantly. Come to the side and watch silently how to deal with these imps. Transformation is useless. You can't hurt us. The wind demon laughed wildly. He kept making obscene taunting moves in the air. But Wang Kai ignored it at all. Take out the big stick directly from the system backpack. At the same time, activate the violent, sprinting, and wind spirit emblems. Instantly throw out the void hook lock. The wind demon showed no intention of escaping. I said, your attack on me. The words haven't been finished yet. Feng Mo watched in shock as the huge hook crashed into his body. Hold on tightly to yourself, who is as formless as the wind. Then an extremely powerful pull came. The wind demon was dragged back in an instant. Looking at the wind demon firmly fixed on the hook lock, Wang Kai could even clearly see the fear in his eyes. He concluded with a cold smile. Garbage, identification completed. He picked up the big stick and hit the wind demon on the head. There was a sound like the air bursting. The wind demon didn't even have time to scream and disappeared without a trace. The earth demon and the water demon instantly felt the cold air rushing from their heels to their Tianling Gai. He was actually killed instantly. Even the witch heart demon cannot kill the invisible wind demon so easily. Who the hell are you? Wang Kai activated the time travel and instantly arrived on the earth demon's body. Then he punched directly at his feet. Void Scavenger. Boom. The earth demon's body exploded with huge amounts. Become more shattered than before. But at this time, the water demon did not escape but advanced. Transform into a torrent of water and instantly roll up all the explosive powder. The water demon and earth demon actually merged. At the same time, the witch heart demon took this opportunity to come behind Wang Kai. He took out a black dagger and stabbed it directly into Wang Kai's neck. Boom. Blue light exploded behind me. The inner demon was blown away by the sanctioning ceremony and flew out in disgrace. Facing the cement giant that is a combination of water demon and earth demon, Wang Kai raised his chest directly. Reincarnation devours. The giant in blue armor opened his chest. The armor automatically separates to both sides, revealing the inner mist vortex, and it releases a terrifying suction force like a black hole. In an instant, an unknown storm arose in front of Wang Kai. The cement monster was torn towards the vortex by the strong suction force. The two of them were immediately horrified. Their instinct as monsters told them, once sucked in, what awaits them will be eternal darkness. Boom! The cement monster stuck his hands into the ground. Want to resist that terrifying tearing force, but I just heard a clicking sound that immediately spread all over my body. The lower body of the cement monster, which was several times harder than before, suddenly shattered, turned into gravel and soil and fell into the whirlpool. Less than a second later, the hands are also broken. The extremely huge half-body smashed straight into the terrifying vortex, but accompanied by the frightened cries of the earth demon and water demon, they quickly shrunk. Then he was directly swallowed by the mist vortex. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing the villains Wind Demon, Earth Demon, and Water Demon, and gaining 300 check-in points. The system prompt finally sounded. The three demons were destroyed by Wang Kai's transformation into Jiang Kui. Jiang Kui's nickname of Master Kui is indeed well deserved. This is called professionalism. Wang Kai sneered in his heart. Turn around and look back. I saw the witch demon turned into a wisp of black smoke, looking at Wang Kai's current appearance with fear. Then he disappeared directly on the spot. He actually left the mirror dimension by returning directly to hell. Before leaving, I only left a harsh word. As a result, Wang Kai became even more determined to kill this little brat. Sooner or later she will be mine. I will definitely come back to enjoy it. The sound is carried away by the wind. Wang Kai's eyes were cold. Unlock Jiang Kui's template without saying a word. Return to the most familiar Kai Daddy state, holding Luna's hand next to her. The desire to kill this little brat, the witch heart demon, has become extremely strong. I don't believe I can't kill you. System, I want to draw a lottery, 10 draws in a row. Ding, it consumes 2,000 check-in points and the lottery is in progress. Ding, congratulations to the host for getting the hero experience card for 1 day, Golden Sagittarius, Hui. Ding, congratulations to the host or summoner for weakening their skills. Ding, congratulations to the host for acquiring the skill, Fang Tianhua Slash. Ding, congratulations to the host for acquiring the skill, Tornado Flash. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the skill and destroying the illusion. Ding, congratulations to the host for gaining skills and dominating the battlefield. Ding, congratulations to the host for getting the equipment, the Endless War Blade. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the equipment, Wrath of the Scholar. Ding, congratulations to the host for getting the consumables, the Big Medicine Box. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining a special item and expanding the system backpack space. The lottery is over. Wang Kai could not speak to himself for a long time. After a moment, he asked, System, are you sure this is an intermediate lottery roulette, not the ultimate lottery roulette? Whether it is Hui experience card, or 2 large pieces of clothing. These are all luxurious rewards. Now you actually package it and give it away. Then what more powerful rewards will you get from the advanced lottery? People's luck is sometimes good and sometimes bad, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with lottery roulette. Since the system said so, then Wang Kai had no choice but to accept it. Golden Sagittarius Hui experience card. It is the same as using the hero template, but there is a time limit. With golden angel wings, able to fly freely in the sky. As a priest, you have infinite power. I am enough to defeat the inner demons of witches. It's a pity that it can only be used for 1 day. Weaken. Reduce the damage output of enemies around you by 25%, and increase your own damage avoidance rate by 20%, lasting 4 seconds and cooling down for 90 seconds. According to Canyon relativity, reducing his harm is equal to increasing my harm. Increasing damage avoidance is equivalent to decreasing his defense. So this is a god-level summoner skill that instantly increases damage by 45%. The Leapfrog Challenge works wonders. Fang Tian Hua Zan. From the unparalleled demon Lu Bu, he hits the enemy with huge amounts of Fang Tian Hua Ji. When it comes into contact with blood, it can be enchanted, and then the physical damage will be converted into real damage. But there is still a prerequisite. Just need a weapon like Fang Tian Hua Ji. Cannot be used without a hero template. Real damage. Wang Kai's face froze. He didn't know that real damage could hurt the physically immune Wu Shinmo. Ask the system immediately. As a result, Wang Kai was pleasantly surprised by the system's answer. Real damage will ignore defense and attack. Void elementalization also belongs to one's own defense, so it can hurt the enemy. So it's very natural. The last integrate skill of the immortal demonic body is Fang Tian Hua Zan. And after integrating, it will be permanently enchanted as a permanent state. No need to cut first. You don't need Fang Tian's painted halberd to use it. The swords and knives all cause real damage. Witch Heart Demon, you are still alive now. Wang Kai sneered in his heart. Keep looking at other rewards. Tornado Flash. Explode your own aura to knock back the enemy, gain a shield at the same time, and deal additional real damage with 3 sword strikes. Cooling time 12 seconds. There are miraculous effects after being beaten. But with Wang Kai's current strength, it doesn't seem to be needed. Destruction of illusions. Sweep the weapon. If the hit enemy's health value is higher than your own, it will stun the opponent. At the same time, the next attack will cause a certain amount of real damage, which lasts for 5 seconds and has a 10-second cooldown. Classic low-level fight against high-level to defeat the strong with the weak. Dominate the battlefield. Designate a person in the subconscious mind to start chanting on the spot, and come to this person's side 2.2 seconds later. Both of them will receive 20% damage reduction and energy shield. Cooldown 70 seconds. There is a way out to find Dr. Pym's wife. Endless Glaive. Provides 25% critical hit chance to cause higher damage, while increasing critical hit damage effect by 40%. The sword in the hand of the loving father strikes the devil in the heart of the witch. He held the 2 swords in his hand and started walking. Wrath of the Loremaster. 24% spell damage increase, and the total spell damage increase is increased by another 35%. This big blue hat fits just right on Jiang Kui's head. Instead, Luna covered her eyes. The large medicine box. After opening, it contains all small medicine bottles, 10 bottles in total. System backpack expansion space. Double the current space area by 1 cubic meter. Finally, I can put more stuff in it. Luna, let's go find the Ancient One Mage. Wang Kai smiled slightly. The target of the witch-hearted demon is the contract of Saint Fanganza. Although he knew that this thing was hidden in the wooden handle of the shovel of the previous generation of Ghost Rider. But he didn't know where the cemetery where the previous generation of Ghost Rider was hiding was. All we have to do is ask the Ancient One. Okay, Brother Kai. Luna wears a hanging ring and draws a circle with one hand. The portal opened to Kamatage and the two went directly to the hall to find the Supreme Mage. As a result, they haven't spoken yet. Ancient One has already stated the destination. And he also told them the secret of Saint Fangance's contract. That contract was signed with 1,000 evil souls. For demons, it is simply a great tonic pill. So it's not just the inner witches who want it. Even his father Mephisto is the same. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.